All right, Rohan, video is now live. Stand by for audio. I'll give you your intro.
Uh-huh.
All right, good day and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Live the Fuel show. So today I'm bringing on a gentleman from another time zone. We recently just aired an episode from a young lady who was actually in Germany. This gentleman is also linking up to us from Germany. So funny, small world. Maybe I can get them connected after this episode. But let me give you guys a quick background on this gentleman here. So he actually tracked me down, I think, through the power of podcasting, and he actually came across my podcast. I believe the one in his original intro to me was he found episode 101, content marketing, getting customers, etc. So, but a little background on this gentleman is, he helps businesses connect with their prospects, grow conversations. He's helping with strategic animated video marketing. I think this is something crucial nowadays that people think YouTube has dropped off. Now it's making a comeback. We'll probably end up geeking out about this because whether we like it or not, video is here to stay. It's quite powerful, and it's being used not just for marketing, but also for people for charity events and something of bigger picture athletics. Me being the adrenaline junkie, he's very good about that with his business, his model. But a little bit more about him real quick is his little story is this gentleman basically had to change his whole life from being a gambler in India to becoming an entrepreneur in Germany and then figuring out how to start helping businesses worldwide. So there's a lot more to this gentleman. I want to help bring him on the show here and help you guys learn more about him. So welcome to the show, our latest co-host, Rohan Kale.
Thank you so much for having me, Scott. It's a pleasure.
It's an honor to have you, man. I mean, I love the whole gambler to entrepreneur. It's pretty crazy. I mean, literally last weekend, I kind of hinted over the internet to you that I was just flying out of Vegas when the whole mass shooting happened and everything else. So I was at a powerful annual event out there full of entrepreneurs looking to change their life and finding more purpose. And we were in this conference all day long, every day. So none of us had time to gamble. We were too busy trying to grow ourselves, grow each other, and build a better future, which looks like here that you pretty much clearly understand.
Absolutely. I mean, it's good not to gamble, I would say. I mean, you can just for fun. If you have some money to just have fun, it's fine. But what I did was absolutely like a disaster because I gambled with the money in having, let's say, I just spend my savings, let's say. Whatever I have saved in my IT
that
job.
happened in India?
That happened in India, yes.
Okay, because this is great for our listeners, guys. I mean, this is the Power of Podcast. So we're bringing people in from all different parts of the world. So to help our listeners understand, I mean, I'd say the largest part of my demographic of listeners is obviously here in the USA. Mm-hmm. But I do have a lot of people doing downloads from Germany, England, and other countries as well. So in India, have you been to the US?
I haven't, but next year I will definitely.
Got to get you over here, man.
Yeah.
Actually, you need to come over to that Thrive, Make Money, Matter event that I went to. That was powerful. It's right up your alley. It's massive growth. World-class entrepreneurs are in there. Mm-hmm. So, but to your benefit and to our listeners, India, I mean, what is gambling like over there? I mean, is it ingrained in your culture? Is it a regular day of life type of thing? What is that all about?
No. It's not like that. I mean, most of the society is the one who has a typical job kind of mindset in their head, and that's how we are brought generally. I mean, sure, there are quite a bit of entrepreneurs coming up as well. But for me personally, what happened was I was looking into shortcuts of having some quick money because I was really deeply unsatisfied with my job. And that's why I fell in this trap, I would say. More or less, I was introduced to someone who was like a broker or a bookie, you call them. And then let's say shit went down.
Sounds like it. Sounds like this could go out of control really, really quick.
It did because what started as fun just went out of hand, and as I said, I lost all my savings. I had to borrow money from my parents, which was a very very bad thing to do because and it was like a rock bottom. I couldn't even look into their eyes, and I was like, what the hell am I doing? Where have I landed up?
Culturally, and I don't care if it's India or the US of A or my original bloodline is from Ireland. I mean, there's a certain amount of, I guess, there's a self-respect factor that you just brought up here, right? That impacts you not just personally, but professionally, your own self-image, your own self-worth, your own parents. I don't know about the culturally in your community, but I'm guessing they didn't really enjoy you coming to them. And did they, I mean, if you don't mind being that transparent, were they, I don't want to be so harsh about this, but I mean, I've upset my parents over the years. Were they ashamed at all? I mean, I don't know. I mean, is that a thing that happens? I don't know. Did they expect this? Were they surprised? I don't know.
Absolutely. I mean, they were absolutely surprised. It's not a normal thing for a 20-year-old guy to come and say, "Hey, I just lost, I don't know, 20,000 euros." I
Wow.
was like, they were like, "What are you talking about?" Because I was so ashamed and I couldn't control myself. I just broke down. I started crying, and then my mom was shocked. My dad was shocked, like, "What's going on here?"
Mm.
It took them time to digest this, and it was not a good plight for me. Definitely not. But they saw that I was like deeply sorry about this, and they said, "You know what? Fine." And I promised them that, okay, no matter what, I'll make sure to repay you. Just help me out this time, and let's
Yeah.
let me
Help you rebuild,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Okay.
And I would say I'm really I have a lot of gratitude towards them, because they actually got me out of a deep rabbit hole. And that's I'm lucky that my parents were able to do that, but I know for a fact that there are so many people whose parents are not in this kind of financial situation. and
Very
and
true.
what would I or anyone else in that situation would have done? Like, it's not a good thing for anyone to happen.
No, I mean, I could tell you that growing up, and I love my parents, but we've never been a very well-off financial family. I mean, I grew up on a farm. You know, we were in a farming world, and it wasn't like one of those types of farms that's being run by business standpoint. Like we just raised animals, and he would sell them, and that was it. And it was never a high dollar family lifestyle.
Hmm.
And so I never actually looked at my parents as I guess a financial backup plan or a fail safe to fall back on. So
Hmm.
you have a very valid point there. Like over the years, I think maybe a couple of times here and there, like maybe my dad lent me $500 US or something like that, right? But
Hmm.
you know darn well that I was expected to pay that back right away. So
Absolutely.
there was never
Absolutely.
any like when I wanted my first automobile, I had to buy my own car. Like there was no, oh, here you go, you're a great son. Here's a car, like which
Yeah.
happens a lot here in this country. And I'm like,
Hmm.
no, dude, I had to earn
Yeah.
everything. I
Yeah.
paid my own way through university, which I think you can attest to as part of your story, because it sounds like after your parents helped you kind of hit the reset switch, start rebuilding. Is that what triggered this whole interest in going to Germany because you found a new schooling program, or how did that all gonna connect up?
So what happened was, I knew for a fact that, okay, so before all this gambling thing happened, I was an engineer, and I had the job. Although I was not really happy, it was at one of the biggest IT companies, and I was working there for 1.5 years. So
Okay.
I had a decent experience, I would say. And then I knew for a fact that I wanted to go abroad somewhere, and do my MBA, because business was something I was always interested in.
Hmm.
And then I started looking into options. US was not an option because it was way too expensive for me. And I mean, what went down with this gambling stuff, I couldn't, let's say, afford to pay anything and take an education loan. And I couldn't then imagine spending so much more time repaying all these debts.
True.
So Germany was something that came up. My ex-girlfriend that time, she was in Germany as well. So she's also originally Indian, and she came here a year before me. So that kind of lined up well. And the education here was good. There is a lot of good automobile industry as well.
Oh
So
yes.
I said, yeah, it's gonna be hard because I don't know the language,
Hmm.
but I have to do this, and I have to take this risk, because this is the only way out for me to start my career and repay my debts and look at a new life altogether. And that's how I landed up here in Germany.
Wow. So you already had your engineering background. Clearly, IT company, that career helped you build that initial savings that eventually got wiped out due to
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
unfortunate life changing. We'll call that an educational experience, right?
Yeah.
Gambling.
Hmm.
Um, Parents helped you bail out of that, luckily, which helped you I guess, get to Germany, right? Put
Right,
this all
right.
together.
Uh-huh.
And then your time in Germany, going for the MBA, and then eventually fast forwarding to building a company.
Hmm.
That's what eventually helped you start paying your family back then?
No.
Oh.
So after my MBA, I did it really good. I was really successful. I had good marks and good grades and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I was working for Daimler then, which is one of the biggest automotive
Oh yeah,
companies
Daimler,
here.
Daimler Chrysler. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. So I worked there for 3 years.
Mm.
That's how I was able to repay my debts
Wonderful.
within first 2 years, 2.5 years more or less. And I realized during this time that okay, now I'm done with this debt part, so I can actually think about something that really is interesting to me. Because during these 2.5 years, I realized that I wasn't that happy again because I realized that I'm not made for this corporate structure
Been
where
there.
you have lots of processes and systems, and your ideas cannot be implemented because there is a lot of decisions and politics and I don't know whatnot. And I
Well,
just
actually, one of my old mentors, you might enjoy this. He's like, there's the problem with the corporate world is there's two ways I'm going to explain it. In reference to what you just said, you're trying to get things change happening. You know this will be effective,
yeah.
okay? Because I was an analyst with T-Mobile, and T-Mobile is actually owned by Deutsche Telekom in Germany, right? So
Okay, yeah, yes.
that was my last big corporate gig.
Okay.
But I started there as a coach, moved into a business analyst role, and I worked on their methods and procedures team.
Hmm.
So yeah, thought that was going to be creating change, right? And then you learn, just like you're hinting at, there's so many steps and people in the way, and choked up methodology, and it's like, you want me to analyze the data, work to improve the front end experiences of a company. I have the results. We as a team have put together powerful results with data to back it up. And then, well, maybe we'll get around to that next year. So, and then there's also the thing, that other piece of it, which is if you're a motivated, driven person, you're trying to work your way up in a company.
Hmm.
And don't get me wrong, T-Mobile actually was a very forward-thinking company. They really tried to help people career path themselves. I was somebody who started as a regular call center employee, working on the front lines, answering phones when I started at that company. So I worked my way up very aggressively. But one of my old mentors said, listen, whether it comes to procedures or whether it comes to personnel, as far as advancing in a company, he's like, there's always somebody else's fat ass above your head. And
Yes.
that was his classic statement. I was like, I will never forget that. That was from, God, 10 years ago, over 10 years ago now. It's 11 years ago. I heard that. I will never forget it.
This is classic because I think it will never change because everyone is looking after their ass, so to say, and everyone wants to have their decision and their thing. Let it be at the expense of others. So you just nailed it right. And this is what I couldn't tolerate there because I saw that I wasn't going anywhere. There was no growth, and I just wasn't happy. I was not in a good place again. Although I was earning good money,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't in a good place. And then I realized I used to come home and it was just so annoying. Like getting up every morning was so painful and I couldn't take it anymore. I just said,
Wait a minute, Rohan, are you trying to tell our listeners that you might have realized that money doesn't bring happiness?
yes, that too. I
That's what
mean,
I'm
I mean,
hearing out here right
yeah,
now.
yeah. I mean, money is important. Don't get me wrong,
It
but
is. It is. It is.
it doesn't give you all the happiness. And as soon I mean, how I can relate this is as soon as I quit my job. So just a little backstory. I started looking into this business opportunity alongside my job because I just wanted to have something secure and didn't want to just
Sure.
be on the road, so to say.
And something a little bit safer than gambling, as far as
Exactly.
as far as building a
Yes.
side hustle or side business.
Yes.
It's still a gamble. Let's
Uh-huh.
be real,
Yeah.
but probably a little more positive and creative than your other choice. So
Exactly. You
yes,
can build systems and processes around your business and get the let's say inflow of revenue and leads and stuff like that coming in. So definitely.
yeah,
And yeah, I mean, I started working with my business alongside my job. I started. I mean, I had no idea about online marketing I mean, I had idea about marketing, but online marketing. And I mean, let's be honest. Whatever we learn, mainly during our education is something completely different from
Oh
the real
God, yeah.
world.
It's all templated,
Yeah,
and
yeah, absolutely,
it's based on the past. It's not based on the future.
absolutely.
And again, I appreciated my time in the university. I think you and I can agree that big picture, schooling definitely helps you grow as a person. It
Hmm.
helps you realize you're capable of more.
Hmm.
It does prove to somebody who's hiring you that
Yeah.
you are capable to commit to a program, follow the program, and succeed.
Hmm.
Your GPA just tells me that you can learn, in my
Right.
experience, right?
Right.
As now as an entrepreneur, I'm like, okay, great. You've proven that you can learn, and you're probably a higher level learner than most. But
Hmm.
where's the real world application? Where is, like, to your point on the online marketing, like as a marketer as well, I'm still learning day in and day out. It's not,
Absolutely.
it's, that's, we unfortunately, well, fortunately or unfortunately, we fortunately have unfortunately found a niche that is just, we're never going to stop learning. It's
Yeah.
just, it's never ending. So,
Absolutely. I
yeah.
mean, I cannot agree more. I mean, the amount of innovation that goes on, the amount of small tricks and tips that you can do to take your business to next level, the amount of people you can connect with, learn from them. It's just a whole different level of education, real life education as compared to what we learn in our degree. I would say it's a whole different world. I cannot agree more. Definitely.
Yeah. Did you
Um,
realize there was going to be this, I don't want to say it's overwhelming, but I'll just say very, as robust of a choice in life that you started going down this little side hustle path. You're like, did you realize I was going to get this in depth, or were you just
uh,
excited to have something going on the side and you were just seeing where it was going to go?
in the beginning, I was just excited that, okay, I just want to, my only goal in the beginning was to get out of my job, and that's it.
Yep.
But then I realized that, holy shit, this is something completely different, and you have to learn so many things. But then I said, you know what? I don't want to overwhelm myself. That's for sure. I take two or three things and then implement them, and like look at the next two or three
Yeah.
things. Otherwise, I mean, first I would say within 6 months of starting my business, I was able to quit my job, which is pretty okay, I would
That's
say.
pretty aggressive.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was aggressive, but I mean, I let's say within 6 months, I got clients which were able to help me, let's say, survive for next 6 or 8 months. So I said, you know what, let's do
That
it,
was
and
going to
let's
be
see.
part of my question there, is
Yeah.
that because there's lots of different ways to bring on clients, right? So some of our listeners might be fellow entrepreneurs and they're trying to
Hmm.
figure this out, just like
Hmm.
myself and you.
Hmm.
So did you bring on like retainer clients where it's like, hey,
Yeah.
you want 6 months of services, you pay this, and that's my retainer?
Hmm.
Well, how are you doing that to help you justify, like, wait a minute, I have enough money coming in
Hmm.
contractually in the next 6 months
Hmm.
that I'm just going to rip the lid off and I'm
Yeah.
going for it. Like,
Right.
how did you figure that out?
That so this is a pretty cool thing. When you start, you don't have any credibility, and no one trusts you, let's say.
True,
So
true.
I just started working for free, and
Okay.
as in free, as in I just, so just to give you an idea. So the animation videos that we sell, they are like complete custom made videos, and
Mm-hmm.
they cost, I don't know, anywhere around $5,000-6,000 for a 60-second video, let's say, more or less.
Is that US dollars or?
US
Okay,
dollars,
okay.
just to give you a rough idea. But when I started, I just said to them, okay, this is the cost of my product, or the service that I'm selling. What I'm gonna be willing to do is give you the service at cost. Just give me a good testimonial and a reference if you're happy with it.
There you go. Build your
And
database, build your
yeah,
references.
exactly. And people were happy to do that. They said, you know what, fine, I can do that. And then as soon as I'd had 3 to 4, let's say, testimonials and stuff like that, I played on those testimonials, and I then started offering services for a little bit more profit than my full services, so to say. And then I got more referrals. So for these referrals, for every referral, I took 2 referrals, let's say, and then
Okay,
I sold them for let's say, my services at full cost. Because they were referrals, they kind of trusted the service, and
sure.
the people who referred me.
See,
So that's
the
how I
beauty
built
of
it.
what you're talking about here is this brings us back to the simplicity of business. Like, if
Uh-huh.
you trace this back to Oh gosh, pre-technology. I mean, we're talking about industrial area. Go back even further. Here in the
Uh-huh.
U.S., we can go back to the colonial times. I don't care how far you want to go back. I mean, things were based on bartering,
Yeah.
word of mouth,
Hmm.
and person-to-person communication. Like there, I mean, this is before email campaigns and content marketing and all this other stuff we got on the internet. It's like what you did was, hey man, I need a reputation.
Yeah.
I got to build one. Let
Hmm.
me sacrifice some of my time because this is still a side hustle, right? I haven't taken it full time yet. So
Hmm.
great. Let's take some of that time to build the relationships, build the database, build the network, get at least a few people saying, man, this guy's actually got some skills. I like how he does it. Look what he did for me. You guys need to check him out. And
Absolutely.
there's I'm not hearing anything about sales funnels, content marketing, email marketing campaigns. I haven't heard. We haven't even started talking about marketing at all yet. You're going. This is the beauty of old-fashioned business-to-business relationship building.
Right.
Ergo marketing, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So very intriguing, man. That's pretty cool.
I mean, in the beginning, when you don't have money, when you're bootstrapping, this is the way to go. And as soon as you get some money, you build a nice website, put some stuff in that. Uh, let's say it's a step-by-step thing always. So first, I'm still doing a lot of stuff in my business. I don't say my business is completely automated yet. No, hell no. I would love to do that, but I'm everything or every step that I take in my business every day is working towards that automation goal, so I can work more on the business rather than in it.
Well, you can't. I'm glad you're bringing up this piece because actually, this is a great example for people in life. This doesn't isn't just business. I mean, to our listeners here, I mean, yeah, we're heavy on the business demographic of this show right now, um, but this applies to your health and your lifestyle too. I'm very big about time freedom. Okay, it's one of my trifecta right there. I call it location freedom, time freedom, financial freedom. Those three. But
Mhm.
the one thing about financial freedom, as far as financials, I can always make more money.
Yeah.
Location freedom, I can always move, pick another location. Time freedom, once the time is spent, I can't get that back.
Yeah.
So everybody right now at the higher level is heavily promoting what you're hinting at, which is finding ways to automate things in your life. And I've implemented a lot of automation into certain methods and procedures of my business or my podcast or whatever else. But yet, to your point, I still have a lot of manual processes because you can't implement automation until you've seen some of your processes fail or create mistakes or generate opportunities to improve them.
Mhm.
Everybody wants to rush right to automation, but if you automate something that hasn't been fully tested
Mhm.
and something crashes and burns during that automation process, oh
Yeah.
my God, you're going to have even worse problems.
Absolutely. I cannot agree more. I mean, I was the one. I kind of started doing it at a very early stage, although I wasn't, so to say, completely financial stable with my business. So I did burn down quite a bunch of money, I must say. I mean, I just hired some telemarketer guys trying
Oh,
to
yeah.
call people and stuff like that. Then I hired a marketing agency that didn't go that well. So again, I bought some software. So I did fall into quite a lot of this I would say pitfalls where things didn't go out or the way I thought they would.
Hmm.
But I think that's a part of the learning. And now I know that if I see something, I just don't say, okay, let me buy this, let me spend more money. No, I just completely test it. I just test the shit out of it, so to say. And then only if I really think that this is something useful, I buy it.
That's good.
Yeah.
And this applies though. I tell people all the time too, like, how do you know, for example, like I'm a huge CrossFit guy. I don't know if CrossFit's over in Germany where you're at, but form of fitness, training, et cetera.
Yeah.
But like some people aren't into that.
Hmm.
That's fine. What I tell people is like anything in life, you can't knock it till you try it.
Yeah.
So whether we're talking about yoga or CrossFit or skiing or yesterday, my skydiving, right? Like I tell people all the time, like, I mean, unless you blatantly are afraid of skydiving, you can't knock that till you try it. And then
Yeah.
once you've done it, it's just at a whole different level. I've been skydiving since on and off since 2006, since my first jump. So it's been 11 years of me just randomly throwing a skydive in here and there. Like I'm not a professional. I just like when I get bored, I'm like, you know what? I think we should go skydiving. But my first jump, 2006, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. So we don't know. Like, these are great life lessons, whether it be business or health. Like, people are like, oh, well, everybody's talking about Paleolithic dieting, right? So it's like, okay, or I should say lifestyle. I don't like the word diet.
Uh-huh.
But I'm like, okay, well, if you've never tried to even look at what you're eating compared to what a Paleolithic lifestyle, for example, is, how do you know if that's going to work or not? Like, at least take the time to analyze and assess where you are at today, then take that and cross-reference that with another lifestyle design, and then say, okay, well, what if I try and implement a couple of those things? I tell people this all the time in my health coaching, because I'm a fitness junkie. And it's like, guys, like, you can't knock something until you've tried it. And by the way, that doesn't mean you try for a week, right? Like, you and I are talking about things that you have to implement over time, and you can't really truly measure or assess clear results until you've had a good period of time. I tell people all the time, like, if you're looking for a good body transformation, right, lifestyle wise, you need at least, well, I'm going to say solid results, 16 weeks, 4 months, right?
Right.
But I could show you great results in the first 30 days, but they're not sustainable yet. You need to let your body adapt and reprogram itself. So just like you in your business, right? You could apply that to your marketing, right? Like, if you're going to implement a new protocol before you reach the point of automation, you need to try it, implement it, see if it's sustainable, see if it actually brings positive results and feedback from maybe your clients, because you definitely don't want negative feedback. I mean, can you talk to some of that as well?
Sure. I mean, what happened to me in terms of negative feedback, I would say, I realized that I was at the very beginning, I delegated quite a lot of stuff without, let's say, taking into consideration the mindset of the person who's working for me. And I just said, okay, you handle it yourself. And then a client kind of complained, saying that, Rohan, the communication is kind of not good. And then I said, Rohan, you're exactly doing what your boss did in your job. So that was like a big ring in my head, like, oh, Rohan, no, this is not how it should be. So my next step was just write down each and every process, like the minute details, whatever they are, and then give it to the employee, assist her alongside the client for at least a month. That is what I did. And then now she's really comfortable, and it's like a hands-off thing for me. The only thing I have to do is, let's say, my client calls, and now she takes care of the entire rest of the communication. So as I said, now I'm really big on systems and processes. But again, this is a complete learning that you get. You mess it up quite a few times, but then you always figure out a way. It's like,
what you're talking about here is not rocket science, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, guys, like, you don't need to be a PhD or whatever. Like, what you're hinting at here is this: you handed off something before you fully, number one, assessed what was going on, and also assessed the person that you were delegating to. And I had to learn that years ago. When I started moving my way up in T-Mobile, they got rid of our managerial titles, and they sent us for 2 weeks down to Tennessee, to Nashville, Tennessee here in the US of A. And managers from all over the country at all the call centers were all shipped in. They stripped us of management titles, and they turned us into coaches. And they said, one of the biggest things that we have studied through a consulting company they brought in was, in a company of that magnitude, you have call centers that are 300, 600 people in each site. So you have people working different time shifts. They have different lifestyles, different upbringings, different vernacular, different speaking styles, different ethnicities. So it's like, you can't manage, like, I used to manage 20, 30 person teams. You can't manage all 20 people the same exact way. Right. You have to adapt. And to be a true leader, you need to be listening to them, understanding their lifestyle. It doesn't mean you let them walk all over you. Right? You're still in charge. But are you helping them truly adapt to the job at hand, and help adapting the training and the skill sets as a coach to that person? Because that person's going to learn a little bit differently than the other. Like, for example, the VAC method, right? Visual, auditory, kinesthetic. Everybody's got 3 different styles of learning. Some usually are stronger in one area or another. This totally ties into video marketing, right? I tell people all the time, like, video does cover auditory and visual, but depending on how you design the video, for example, professional fitness trainers,
Mm-hmm.
if they're building the video in a demonstrative way, you are actually interacting in a kinesthetic way because you're helping that person do exactly what you're doing on the video. So
Right.
now you're also, with video, able to tap into all three
Mm-hmm.
of those learning styles.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But back to my original point is, you need to test these things, you need to try them, and you have to adapt to the people at hand. Delegating is wonderful to give you your time freedom.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But to your point, if you didn't test out that person's personality traits and who they are,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
maybe I shouldn't have given that person that task. That task might have been better for that person.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I can give that person something different.
Right.
Have you had to learn that too? Like, hey, you know what? I can't delegate the same stuff to the same person. You got to play to people's strengths.
I would say what I realized is I have to take responsibility for everything that's going around. And when I realized that when I had that kind of mind shift change, where I actually, when there was something going wrong, instead of looking at an employee and saying, okay, you messed up, I said, what could I have done better to improve that kind of communication? And I think that kind of took me to the next level, where I was actually able to communicate, taking into consideration the employee mindset, as you mentioned. And the communication got so better because I, I, I don't know, call it an ego thing, call it you being the boss thing or whatever. It just, the walls just collapsed and we were talking on a very human level, and they appreciated that gesture from my side, and I felt the difference. I felt the genuineness coming out from there. And
Did you feel different when you felt, isn't this powerful, right? Like,
yeah,
we're human beings working with other human beings.
yeah.
Where did we get lost and start becoming more robotic? Like, if we want robots, go hire robots.
Exactly. Absolutely. I mean, I'm really thankful because within first 2 years I got all these lessons, and this is what is a beautiful thing about entrepreneurship. I would say it helps train you in such a pleasant way that you grow in a whole different direction. As let's say, you could never grow this way if you were in a job, for example, because there you are like a robot, more or less. But being an entrepreneur, it's like you have to develop everything by yourself. Everything or whatever you do is your responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
You are responsible for your success, you're responsible for your failure. Unlike your job, you're going to get paid your monthly salary no matter what. But here, it's a question of let's say paying your bills for the next month or not. So it builds you up in such a beautiful way, and I'm really thankful for this life, to be honest.
Did you ever read the book or listen to it? Because obviously I'm a huge auditory book fan. The EMyth Revisited.
No.
Okay. EMyth Revisited is we throw it around here a lot anyway, but it's a great book on how do I sum it up? Well, EMyth, as an E as in entrepreneurship. Everybody thinks entrepreneurship on the outside, a lot of us glorify it. Yeah. And I'll admit it, I'm still figuring it out, right? Because I was a corporate guy for years, and I was an employee for years. Now, like, oh, you're on your own. Yeah. The EMyth Revisited kind of hints on the fact, like, one of the best chapters I enjoyed in that book was what you just hinted at. When you first start off, you're wearing all the hats, right? It's all you until you have built up enough, maybe it's income, maybe it's enough experience to realize what it is I need to delegate. And in the book, they had a case study where there was two guys founded a company together, and the one thing that they needed to do, if you're following EMyth Revisited, is we need to list all the hats that we have to wear. Then, not just list them all out and say, great, we're all doing this. Well, in the beginning, what they did was they just took the list, split it down the middle, and said, great, you take half of those hats, I take the other half of those hats, and let's go. And what they didn't realize was, back to playing to people's strengths, is some of the tasks were actually, number one, more robust, more involved than others. So they didn't even look at it from a time management. They just said, here's a list. Let's say it's 25 hats, or sorry, let's go with 30 hats. You take 15, I take 15. Then they realized, wait a minute, 5 of the first 15 take twice as long to deal with and vice versa. So there was a time management issue. One of the guys started getting overtaxed in exhaustion more than the other. Then they also realized, wait a minute, are we playing to our strengths? So like some of those hats actually would have been more beneficial being run by the other guy versus the other guy. And so these are just all great examples of how to assess where you're starting, where you're beginning with, like you just hinted at, right? When you start the company, all the hats are on you. But what do you even know all the hats? List them out. Right. And because a lot of people need that wake up call. It's like, oh yeah. For example, me. My introduction to entrepreneurship was switching over into my one big client. I moved her into a 10, here it's called 1099, our tax codes. But anyway, I'm not your employee, right? I'm a contractor. I'm a consultant. Mm-hmm. So traditionally here in the US, if you're an employee, they take all your governmental taxes out for you. All your taxes are being paid and funneled for you. So you never have to worry about, oh, did I pay my taxes this year? Okay. As an entrepreneur or as a contractor, I didn't realize, oh, I should be setting aside a percentage, the tax percentages of that income, and then paying them, prepaying them every quarter. That's like a best practice here. Like, hey, every quarter, send a check into the government. Say, hey, here's what I made the first quarter. Here's your percentage. Boom. We'll figure it all out at the end of the year with my accountant. Mm-hmm. But I wasn't doing that. So I'd wait till the end of the year and then give all my stuff to my tax accountant. And then it's like, oh, you still owe all of this. And it was like, holy heart attack. I was like, I owe thousands of dollars. Where am I going to get this from? So then you go on a payment plan because you don't go to jail. And it's like, okay, so for the next few months, my now current year's income in the first quarter of the new year, I'm now having to take a chunk of that money and pay back the taxes. So it's like, it was a huge mistake, but it's like, I didn't know that. I didn't put on my tax responsibility hat, right? Like I didn't do I was just so excited to start contracting and taking on contracts and making money. I wasn't tracking the income. I wasn't tracking the taxes. And I don't know how you guys do it in Germany. I mean, is there a similarity there? Or do you actually have some responsibilities as a citizen to the government?
So generally, I at least have an accountant and he takes care of the accounts every month.
There you go.
And every month, whatever taxes you have to pay or whatever tax return you get, it's done on a monthly basis. So
But you didn't start that way.
I didn't start that way. I did it. So what happened was, that's a good thing. I mean, within 6 months of my business, I realized that there is a lot of paperwork happening. And I knew from a fact, because I had read this thing, what you mentioned, that there are people who just don't care about their business, let's say taxes or tax filing for first 1 year, and they have this bunch load of paperwork and they are completely lost. And I just said, you know what, let me at least go and consult someone. Mm-hmm. And then this consultant was a pretty cool guy. He explained me how it works. And I said, you know what, let's get started. I don't care. I mean,
another great entrepreneurial lesson you're sharing right now is that, and actually this doesn't even, again, this does not apply to business. This applies across the board. It's like, guys, like if you don't know somebody or something, think about who you know in your inner circle that does maybe know that. And why don't you just suck up a little vulnerability and go ask for help and say, hey, could you tell me more about that? Because I don't have a clue.
I mean, you are not supposed to know everything. But that's where your willingness to learn comes into picture, I would say. Mm-hmm. But then, if you can delegate all this tasks, fine. If you can free up your time by hiring someone, fine, do it, I would say. So this is how you get started. It's always, let's say, a step-by-step process, but you have to have this mindset where you're willing to learn a lot, and that's where you can actually, let's say, go to the next level in your life, in your business, your lifestyle, whatever it is.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's interesting because like for you, I'm actually going to connect the dots on a couple of things you've already brought up here. But basically in your bio in the beginning, you had hinted you're up to a team of 15 now, right? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And then just a few minutes ago, you hinted about how you realized, when you start actually talking to and with your employees or your team
Mhm.
or your contractors or your VAs if you're using virtual assistants. Like I got a couple of VAs. They're not my employees, but I still want to communicate with them like we're just
Yeah.
basic human beings.
Mhm.
Like I outsourced the editing for this podcast show. I got a guy in Bosnia that I outsourced to. The guy doesn't even speak English. I've never had a conversation with him. It's all electronic.
Uh-huh.
It works. I'm always saying thank you and I appreciate your help and good human communication.
Absolutely.
But there's no way that you would have been able to build to a 15-person team in a sustainable and positive way if you hadn't have started paying attention to that human-to-human communication. That's what
Yes.
I'm getting from you as well. Because
Yes.
when you had that epiphany and you realized it, that was earlier on, right? Like you didn't have the full 15 yet.
No. I
Okay.
mean, it was always a gradual process. So I started with one. I mean, that was like on a contractor basis because I didn't know the business. I have to be honest. I learned marketing because I knew I could learn it very fast. Being in the sales and marketing realm for during my job career.
With
But then
Daimler, right?
sorry.
Was that with
Yeah, yeah,
Daimler?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Right. And then with my, let's say, employee, I knew that I didn't know anything about animation, so I had to learn the basics by myself. And then I said, let me hire someone. I'm willing to pay, and I'm willing to learn from this person. And this is how I got started, because I didn't know. And the best way is to pay someone to teach you stuff. So this
Mhm.
is how we started. So that employee was, let's say, my mentor as well as my employee. I don't know, it was maybe a weird kind of relationship, but it worked out well. Why not?
No, I love these points on learning and paying
Yeah,
attention. Like, again, we don't know everything, right? For example,
yeah.
like I was poking around this morning before we got on the show here, and I'm going to screen share right now. And I'm currently, for our listeners, guys, again, check him out at R Kale or Kale, RKALE.com. Very simple, rkale.com. And it'll be in the show notes on the blog article and everything else. But anyway, I love this one page on your site because you talk a little bit about features and services and things of that nature, but you define, like, for example, features and benefits of video.
Mhm.
So when you first started dumping into sales and marketing at Daimler, and then you started creating the side business, you didn't even all the way understand how to even define what you have defined here for us today, right? Like this
No.
is all where you're at today.
Yeah.
I mean, how long ago did you build out this page of content, for example?
I have to be honest. I What I learned early in the business is, I mean, so I had this online course which I took, and
Mhm.
very early in that course, they just said that you have to go and talk to the customers, not in the way of what you are doing, but how they are benefiting.
Mhm.
So that was a very early lesson in marketing, which I had ingrained in my head. So every time, whatever I write or whatever I wrote on my website or my landing pages, my advertisements, I don't know whatnot, it's every time depending, or the only thing I know is to talk to the benefits of the customer or the prospects. And that's how I just came up with this idea. So what's the most ideal thing that your prospect needs? How am I going to benefit from video? What
Mhm.
are there any statistics? What are the kind of conversions that I can expect? And just I had this framework, and then I just put it step by step, and that's how I built up this page, I would say.
And for listeners, guys, because again, we're doing a screen share right now for the YouTube feed, but I'm literally on his page. And the very first piece of the page that we're on for the features page is, why video? And he talks about, video is freaking awesome. And here's why. So and then the next section here is, awesome, right? Well, here's some more sexy numbers to reinforce it. So I love your one point here, which I haven't checked these numbers, but they actually seem very, very accurate to me. But our brain processes videos 60,000 times faster than text.
Mhm.
So I can totally back that up, not on the numbers, but just watch what the companies are doing these days, right? So Instagram, when they first launched a video capability, it was only 10 seconds, was it? And then they moved out to 20, and now they got it up to it's a
One,
full minute.
it's a minute, yes.
Full minute, right?
Mhm.
This is before, I believe, Facebook even bought them. And
Yeah.
then, Facebook buys Instagram, right? And then, by the way, then all of a sudden you start noticing that Facebook live videos are a big deal.
Ah.
And then, darn, Facebook realizes that video is so powerful. They start changing their algorithms. So if you launch a Facebook live post, that's going to outrank everything else in the news feed. So here's your,
Yeah.
we're giving you guys some free marketing 101 stuff right now.
You just in addition to this, LinkedIn, dude, LinkedIn is so big right now. I cannot even tell you the amount of organic reach that you can get
I love LinkedIn.
Just by posting on LinkedIn. It's incredible. And now they have introduced the video feature. Unfortunately, it's still not here in Germany. I'm waiting so badly for that.
I have it.
Lucky you. but the organic reach that you are getting from LinkedIn just by posting, it's incredible. I mean, I have just written, let's say, a 1,300 character post, and I had easily reached, I don't know, 15, 20, 25,000 people organically by that. And it's
On
incredible.
LinkedIn.
Yeah, on LinkedIn, and I get
Wow.
so many friend requests every day. It's incredible. It's just crazy.
Well, it's interesting. So I'm going to bring up my LinkedIn page because I know for a fact I posted, like, for example, today or yesterday, I uploaded my skydiving video. So I paid to have them do, because I can't bring my own gear with them. So I have to pay to have them use their GoPros, and they do a video. And then I get it and I'm like, I would totally rework that content because it's not great.
Yeah.
But in the end, I'm not you. So I was like, I'm just going to take the video they gave me. They have some nice graphics, and I'm just going to put it on my YouTube channel, because any video, pardon this term, any video is better than no video. I know that's probably nothing you want to hear. But I'm like, hey, how often do I put a skydiving video on my YouTube feed? Not very often, right? So let's throw up something new and fresh. And that's how I looked at it. So, and I know for a fact the other day I posted a video up on LinkedIn. I don't know if it was skydiving related, but yes, you are correct. We can now actually do video on LinkedIn. And to this day, though, I still tell people, do not LinkedIn. And yeah, actually, I got to pause this. Darn it. That's the YouTube linked. My skydiving video. And then prior to that, here we go. I actually did post a video that I recorded on my iPhone, and then I put that on YouTube, and I put that because I'm doing some fundraising for a genetic disorder called cystic fibrosis right now.
Okay.
And so I put a video on LinkedIn there because, fundraising and the professional world of LinkedIn totally is cohesive. So, but the point is, like, yeah, great. Now you've always been able to link YouTube video. That's fine. But what you're talking about is actually posting a raw video file into your post.
Yes.
So, yeah. So that's something newer.
So I think if you start your mobile on your mobile, I think it's definitely there in US. You can actually record a live video like Facebook Live. They have LinkedIn Live as well.
I'm gonna bring that up while you're saying this, actually.
Yeah.
So let me actually stop sharing here. And keep going because I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely. Because what's the problem with let's say posting links from other platform is you do not get as many organic reach as you can normally get, because LinkedIn or Facebook, let's say, they don't want the outsider links. They want you to keep on their platform.
Right. I mean, let's be real. It'll still help that you have YouTube stuff in there, but you are correct. I'm doing both. I'm doing, if I have for example, one cool thing people don't, here's a tip, guys. If you're doing a Facebook Live video and you're looking to gain content in your YouTube channel, before you hit post on your Facebook Live video, because as soon as you finish it, it's going to ask you to post it in HD and all that. And if you want to make any editing, and then it's like a little tiny download arrow box. Download it to your hard drive on your smartphone if that's what you're videoing from, because then it'll still pass through and you can still finish posting. But now you've got the actual video on your phone, and now you can then take that and put it on YouTube as well. So you're multi-purposing your content. That way you're making Facebook happy with because that way they control their Facebook Live videos.
Yeah.
And then it's like you don't lose that video.
Right.
Because then you got to figure out how to extract a video from Facebook and then get that content into YouTube. And so that's been my little tip that I share with people.
I cannot agree more. I mean, the power of repurposing your content across all platforms is amazing. I mean, just to add to what you said, you can actually, if there is some, like this Facebook Live video, which you said, you can actually, there's a site called rev.com. rev.com. So you can actually have the transcription of all that, and you can create a blog post from that video.
Oh, it'll actually basically scan or listen to your video and then spit out a transcript.
Yes, exactly. You can
How accurate is it? Do you feel it's pretty accurate?
It is very accurate. You can
Oh,
just tell them, I don't want this ooms and ahs and whatever, and they give you a transcript. You can, of course, you have to clean the let's say content a bit, but then you have a, let's say, full-on blog post written for you. That's
see, that's
amazing.
smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, because admittedly, like, I don't have the time to blog.
Yeah. No,
So
I mean,
I put a regular traditional blog post up like once every 3-4 months lately.
mhm, mhm,
But obviously, the podcast is blog content. So for the podcast section of my blog,
mhm.
that's going out twice, boom,
Yeah,
every week. So,
absolutely.
but I still then see. I don't write a full paragraph style blog for those. I do time stamped segments out of the episode, but that still requires myself or a VA to listen to the episode
Right.
and then pick out all the little tags that I want to timestamp. But again, there's services like this, as you're saying. I'm sharing it right now on
Mhm,
rev.com.
mhm.
You can pay them and do a transcription. And actually, the pricing is not that crazy.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh,
video generally is 5 minutes, so $5 is not bad, I think. No.
no, no. I mean,
Yeah.
if especially for video. Now, for a podcast, I'm not dropping, was it $1 per script? Yeah. I mean, I have 30 to 60 minute podcasts.
Yeah.
So that would start adding up very, very quickly.
Sure.
Um, I would rather bring on like a college intern
Hmm.
and like help them grow their experience by helping do blogging and stuff for the podcast, which is something that I've been meaning to do. I just haven't had the time to do that either.
Sure. Sure. I mean, these small things add up a lot, and the more you're seen on each and every platform, the more authority you have.
Hmm.
So it always, I mean, no content is less, I would say. Be on every platform. Just don't. One tip here is not to post the same content across all the platforms. You can
True.
just, let's just have a timetable where you can just, let's say on Monday you post on LinkedIn, Tuesday on Facebook, I don't know, Thursday on Quora, I don't know, whatnot. So you can do these things.
Yeah. I mean, some people, they do blast everything at the same time on all channels. Some people stagger it.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, they could spread it out. Other people then will chunk it,
Hmm.
meaning that maybe you don't want to post the entire video. Maybe you want to edit it and chunk out little segments. It all
Right.
depends on what it is you're trying to do with your brand, or if it's charity work or whatever it is you're trying to do. I agree with you on that. LinkedIn's always been an interesting platform for me because I don't call it social media. They
Hmm.
have been welcoming in um, newer features like you've hinted at that are very similar to Facebook and other platforms because they're so viral. But I've been on LinkedIn since it was founded. So I've been on there a long time. And I've always explained it to people. I'm like, dude, it's not technically a social media, it's a professionals networking platform. And I'm always coaching people. I'm like, I don't hold anything back. I stick everything on there. I don't
Yeah.
care. Like some people, they just put their professional resume. And I'm like,
No.
if you put your
No.
professional resume, you're limiting your brand growth as a person and as a
Yes.
professional.
Yes.
People
Yes.
want
Yes.
to know about you.
Absolutely. I cannot agree more. The amount of let's say personalization posts that people have, or the company culture post, or how a particular person or a CEO handled their company in crisis. I mean, these are a lot of stories that are coming up and that are getting a lot of traction and going viral. So I would suggest anyone, if you're an employee, if you want to do good for your company, start posting on LinkedIn. If you're a CEO or a founder, a startup, start posting on LinkedIn. Put yourself out there. Be vulnerable. Just the more you show yourself as a person, as a real person, and not just like a corporate guy or a
Mm-hmm.
girl, the more people feel connected, and your story gets out there, and you just see the difference, the amount of connection requests you will get, the amount of business you will get. It's just crazy. It just is a exponential thing that will happen.
So, all right. So, just we'll pop off the LinkedIn target right here, but let's just actually real quick, real fast. What are your top three little LinkedIn hacks that you have? Then, besides you curry, I mean, you could sum up what you already said too. But what do you
Yeah.
got? There's a lot of people out there trying to grow themselves, maybe get a
Mhm.
new job, maybe
Yeah.
become more entrepreneurial. Like, what would you suggest?
uh, First, put your personal stories out there, how you handle a particular situation, how you build up your company culture if you're an entrepreneur, how you handled a particular difficult client, for example. Stories like this, they are
Mm-hmm.
getting a lot of traction. Second, try to, let's say, not have like a email, let's say a message blast to your connections. Just try to be more personal. Just be genuine. Like try to,
like a thought of the day in
yeah.
as far as a post you're saying, or
No, so for example, if we connected on LinkedIn today, we did. I mean, but yeah, if you and me connected on LinkedIn today,
sure.
just be genuine and just, let's say, provide them value. Like for example, hey, Scott, nice to meet you. If you want any kind of connections, I mean, if you have any kind of questions related to, I don't know, whatever, or if you want me to connect to any person in my network,
Mhm.
just feel free. Just have a like a normal dialogue. Like
Yeah, don't be a robot and just start like friending like people who just blindly friend people on Facebook or people who
yeah.
just try and link to people on LinkedIn. I'm
Mhm.
like, I could tell, first of all, they give you the option on LinkedIn to add a note when you
Yeah.
send a linked request. So just
Mhm.
add something personal saying, hey, I noticed
Yeah.
we have like literally 35 to 50 mutual connections, man. Let's connect up. Or in
Right.
your case, I think I might have sent this morning, like, hey, man, like looking forward to chatting with you in a couple of
Yeah.
hours.
Right.
Because I went online and I realized like we're about to chat on a podcast and you and I haven't connected on any platforms. And
Yeah.
then I was like, well, while I'm at it, let me go ahead and tweet them while I'm at it too. So then I tweeted you and I followed you. So it's like,
Yeah.
this is what you do.
Yeah.
And it's not hard. It's not rocket
No.
science.
No, it's just being very personal and just being a good person. That's what it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, for example, my one post here, actually this morning, because I did it yesterday. I downloaded the video from the thumb drive that they gave me, and I said, you know what? Another epic weekend adventure yesterday, bright and early at 8:30 a.m. So you get a little bit idea of my, okay, Scott's about to talk. If they haven't seen the video link yet, they see that I love to talk about adventure and stuff.
Hmm.
But,
Hmm.
and then I put it out there to these guys. I'm like, you know what are you doing to level up this weekend, my friends? It doesn't need to be a crazy skydive. So even though
Right.
I posted the video of our skydive, I'm not trying to say that I'm cooler than you because I did a
Yeah.
skydive. I'm
Yeah.
just I'm a huge inspiration guy. Like for the longest time, I used to post just motivational content and I still do, but it's like, okay, guys, let's level up. Okay. It's motivation. It's inspiration.
Hmm.
It's what are we doing as professionals or just friends online to drive each other to
Right.
that next peak level of performance? Because
Absolutely.
that's what we should be. I can't stand negative social media.
Hmm.
I tell people this all the time. I'm always talking about this. Like people are like, man, you're on social media all the time. And I said, yeah, but do you ever see me posting negative crap? No.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
chosen to position myself as a positive influencer,
Hmm.
sharing stories of my own activities,
Right.
events I'm connected with, charities I'm connected with, because I'm trying to create and grow positive change.
Hmm.
We're up against a huge battle of negative content out there.
Hmm.
So I can't change that. But
Hmm.
what I can control is what I'm putting out there. And
Right.
that's what I'm getting from you as well, man. Like
Hmm.
whether it be marketing videos or as you're hinting on LinkedIn, like what are you putting out there, man? Like really think about your content.
Yeah. It's just putting yourself out there. I mean, people are connected to your stories, and this is the whole rationale behind video marketing as well. The more vulnerable you are, the more you are talking to the pain points of your customer via videos, short 60-second videos, 90-second videos, the more people feel connected to you. You have to guide your ideal prospects very systematically, like a little baby, I would say,
Mm,
so that they understand you very properly. You cannot just expect them to have all the knowledge which you have, which you know can help them, but they don't know how to interpret it. You have to have like a really step by step, baby steps kind of videos or content or whatever you find comfortable with, so that you guide them along the entire sales funnel, if you will, and then only they can actually become your customers first of all, and beyond that they can refer you. You can have raving fans, as we call them, for your business.
Well, so then, I mean, we're going to be chunking this down and getting us towards the end of the episode here, but obviously you've done a lot in the marketing and video space. I mean,
Mhm.
building a team of 15 people, man, influencing companies and organizations from around the world, from your little home right there in Germany. Um, and I just love the fact that you've been so transparent with us today about where you came from, man. Like gambling affects a lot of people. It has not affected me. I've never been drawn to it, but I love the transparency because just like we've been talking about today, man, you're letting it all out there. Like you're not hiding anything. Like, hey, man, I had that as a possible, we'll call that a weakness, but I didn't let that weakness rule me. I found a way to overcome that, rebuild, come back stronger. And then, oh, wow, the next thing you know, your life is taking you to Germany and you're becoming an entrepreneur. And now you're building a team of 15. And I might talk to you a few months from now or a year from now, you might have a team of 50. I don't know. But in the marketing video space, and again, to our listeners, guys, rkale.com. What else can our listeners expect to get out of your site, or if they're following your content out there? I mean, what is your driving factor behind the content wise and marketing and video? Because I'm looking forward to digging in deeper and studying more on your stuff because I could definitely level up my video game.
Mm-hmm. Sure. So a few tips I would say is be consistent. First of all, whatever, if you are, let's say if
I say define that. There's lots of different ways of saying consistent. Are you saying how often, the messaging, like that stuff?
So few things to hear. So if it's too overwhelming for you to be present on all the platform, which is the ideal situation, for example, but if you just select to go on one platform, for Facebook, be consistent, post videos. Videos are so big right now. Just, I don't know, do a 30-day challenge for yourself. Post a few things that you know that you can help people with, or put your message out there. Mm-hmm. Do that on a consistent basis. I don't know, if it's too much for you, post 2 times a week. That's fine.
Start somewhere. Maybe it's once a week, then it's twice a week. You know?
Yeah. And that's the most important thing. Put your message out there. Second, this is a very sneaky hack, I would say.
All right, listen up, gang. We got a sneaky hack coming in.
Yeah. So most of the times, you businesses have proposals that you send. Mm-hmm. My tip here is to send a video proposal and just see the amount of conversions that you will get, because it's so personal. It's so personal. So you, of course, you need to have paperwork, but along with that, why don't you just send a video?
Now you're saying, so let's say I'm approaching a new company, mm-hmm. and I want to do, let's say, their social media marketing for them, or at least I don't want to do it for them. Yeah. I just want to be their consultant to help mm-hmm. drive the direction. Mm-hmm. That's kind of my style. So, because I'm meeting with a company this week actually, and I'm friends with the owner. It's an IT managed hosting company actually. Mm-hmm. So I know you know techie. So, and they're in a massive growth. Like they have 2 employees and that's it. But he says, he's like, I don't have enough bandwidth of people to keep up with the work right now. Like he's and he can't just bring on an IT professional and just train him in a night. Like he's got to train his people on his systems and his protocols and all that. Anyway, point is, like, if I was approaching them, you're saying, instead of just writing up a proposal, why don't you just give them a how-to, or why work with Scott, or why Scott is looking forward to helping you grow your business type of video. Yeah. And say, now, would you say you're going to send that, like put it on a private, like YouTube playlist and then just email it in? Or like, are you saying put it out there publicly and tag them in the post? Like, what are you saying?
No, don't do that. No, put it on as a personal note, and on your YouTube, put it at unlisted or unlisted.
Yeah, you can unlist it, but then as long as whoever has the link to it.
Yeah, unlisted. So put a unlisted video. I don't know, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. That okay? Hey Scott, nice to meet you. I'm Rohan. So we had this discussion before, and we discussed 1, 2, 3, 4 points. Additionally, I can help you with, or your other way around. Never say I can help you with. You can benefit by 1, 2, 3, 4.
Nice. Again, not about me. Yeah. Right. Not about you, our listeners. Right. It's about, this actually can be totally tied back to your romantic relationships as well. But that's right. This is real life stuff, man.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Make it about them. Make it about them. Make sure they understand it's what it's about them. It's what they need. It's where they're going next. You're just a tool in the process.
Mm-hmm. Okay. There is a pretty cool book that I was reading. I think it's called Selling the Invisible, I think. And it says there's a thing which you always have to remember. It's called what's in it for me.
Mm-hmm.
This is the only question that your target market or prospect is interested in. And you have to appeal to this question in whatever marketing efforts you do. That's how you actually start creating results and conversions.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah. What's
I'm
in it
liking that.
for me? What's in it for me? Yeah.
Okay. I'm feeling you on that. I'm feeling you on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, listen, man, this has been a powerful show today. I'm so glad we did finally get a chance to connect up and hear more about your story. It's been a roller coaster ride of a month for me, and it sounds like you guys got a lot going on for you.
Yeah.
For our listeners, and you said you have listened to a couple of shows prior, so I always give the final words of the show to our honored co-hosts who felt like hanging out and having a conversation with me today. So, but this is your opportunity to give something big picture, man. Like, you clearly have gone through a lot of lifestyle transformation to get to where you're at today. And we've talked a lot about business. Let's go above that, man. Like, in your final words to our listeners, like, if they forget everything else you and I chatted about today, what is it about Rohan Kale what are you trying to do in the world, man? You know, what, again, making it about us and not about you, right? So, like, what is it what is the message you're trying to create? What you're trying to leave behind, big picture? Like, what is it? What are your final words to our listeners to maybe motivate or inspire them? I don't know.
So I would say I would say these are the two things that I have learned so far. So I mean this will add up surely in the future, but first thing is be a doer. There is a lot of people who talk about stuff, who talk about strategy and planning and I don't know what not. Bullshit. Start doing. Start doing. Just start implementing whatever you learn. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is so crucial. Like this is, I think, if you let's say ignore the entire chat which we had so far, just remember this one thing: you have to implement. Otherwise, there's nothing. There's no business, guys. Second, when you think that it's getting uncomfortable, I think that's the real time where you have to start pushing harder, because that's where you are very close to your goal. Because it's not going to be easy. It's going to be hell lot of an effort to start a business. It's going to be very difficult. I just give it to you straight up front. But then there has to be some place within yourself which you have to be sure that you're going to make it. If you have that belief within you, you are going places. Trust me, I mean, you are going to get a lot of haters. Whatever you post, people will say, you sound like shit, you look like shit, you are talking like shit, you're from India, you're from I don't know what the hell not. Don't care. Just you keep on doing you. I mean, these are the few things that I have learned so far, and probably when I come again to your show, then I will add on to this list.
I love that, man. I love that little piece there of you keep being you.
Yeah.
That's a powerful way to close this show out because, again, to our listeners, gang, I mean, we talk a lot about health, business, lifestyle, but that's a very high level message to you that Rohan is leaving behind for you guys. It's like, don't worry about the guy or the girl next to you and what their lifestyle is, the car they drive, the house they drive, the company that they've launched, the company they've crashed into the ground, because sometimes that happens. His point is, like, you be you and keep implementing. So again, to our listeners, guys, that was Rohan Kale. Make sure you check him out at rkale.com and check him out in the show notes. We'll have everything up online. But again, to our listeners, guys, this is what we're all about. Rohan is coming in from Germany. He rocked out on the mic today. I'm so glad we brought him on the show. He had a powerful story to share with you to help inspire you guys to keep living the fired up epic life. And we'll talk to you guys again soon. And you're clear of the pod.
Yeah, that was cool.
Did you have fun?
Love it. Yes, it was fun. It was amazing.
You said you've been on other podcasts before. I don't know what their style is, but like, I mean, hey,
no,
I'm just being me.
Yeah, this is cool because so while talking to you, I realized there are quite a few things which I had in my head which I have never been able to express, and I was just able to speak them out right now, and I feel so good
Feels
about
good,
it.
doesn't it?
Cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I love it.
So you just found my secret to what keeps me still going with this show.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only been 13 months, 13 months now. So it's over a year since launching the show.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my earlier episodes, somebody told me the same exact thing. Like back when I first launched the show, when I was actually at the podcast, my first podcast conference a year ago, the first week I launched,
Okay.
and I interviewed a well-known podcast guy. And he's like, listen, man, he's like, you got me to talk about stuff I don't get to talk about.
Yeah.
He's like, you're going to have a great show. And I said,
Absolutely.
why is that? He's like, that's what it's all about, man. He's like,
Mm-hmm.
you got to get people comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You got to keep them happy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, you keep that going. And the best part is I'm not even trying. I'm just hanging out and having a good time.
Yeah.
And I want you guys to do that because not everybody wants to talk about their little secrets, but it's like, guys, like, this is like therapy, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, get it out, because now you'll be able to talk about it easier, maybe on your next opportunity to speak in front of a conference or whatever.
Right.
Like me, I'm personally growing my speaking career right now. So it's like, I'm all about sharing anything and everything. I've ripped all the walls down, and that's not easy. But the faster you do that, or the more, like you said, putting in the reps and start doing that, it gets easier. The more times you get on the video, again, people watch this on YouTube, guys, like this guy's a video guru, and he's telling you guys this right now, like, start recording videos. Your first couple, you're going to be embarrassed. And another little tip is I've never deleted a video off of YouTube. I don't care how crappy they are.
Yeah.
Or compared to where I'm at today, because if people want to, they can go back and see where you came from.
Absolutely.
And that's powerful transparency too. I don't know if you would agree with that.
No, absolutely. I mean, you have to start somewhere, and that's the most important thing. And it's surprising for you sometimes, not you, but we in general, to see where we started and where we came along, and the transition. It's like, holy shit. Okay, wow.
Yeah.
And then that kind of fuels the flame within, and you are more excited about stuff, about what's going to happen from, let's say, 12 months from now. And that's the beauty of it, I would say.
Oh, it's very exciting. I love it. So, well, to benefit you, man, when we get all this stuff edited and everything else, I already have your headshot. You sent that. That'll be the primary episode graphic. If there's anything else specific that you wanted to share for the blog content, I always tell people, make sure you email it over. Like if there's like a key, because I always embed this video into the blog content anyway off the YouTube channel. But if people have really powerful video content, I always try and throw in a second video for embedding. That way I can drive traffic back to your channel too. Because again, I'm a marketer, so I believe in giving more than I'm receiving. So I'm trying to. It frustrates me sometimes when I have a co-host on and they don't have anything else to share. And I was like, okay, that's fine, because that means I'm really helping you literally grow your brand. Right. Because you have nothing and I'm giving you everything. But if there's a key video you wanted to share, like think about which one and email that a link, and I'll make sure that gets also embedded into your content as well. So
what I could potentially do is email you a few video styles, like 3 to 5 video styles that we, let's say, recommend initially to our clients, and then they can select something from that. So just to get an idea of how our work looks like, more or less.
Oh yeah, whatever. As long as it shows you off. That's all I'm trying to do for the blog content on the website. It's like, I want to make sure that the whole point is, again, marketing. It's like, I want my co-hosts to look forward to sharing the content.
Yeah.
In order for that to happen, like, I need to work with you on that and say, okay, well, what else do you want to have embedded in that? I mean, I can't fill it up with tons of crap, but let's really be targeted and make sure it gives you your best foot forward.
Makes sense.
And that's what I want to do. So
makes sense. Just out of curiosity, how many downloads or views do you have on your podcast, like generally on an average?
Well, I've never advertised it, so it's still been organically growing. I think, I'm a 40,000. I think I'm 40,000 on the podcast. I haven't even checked my YouTube stats. It all depends. One thing I've found is that the more people, I'm tracking this data, the more people who share it, it does get better, right? So you're increasing your downloads.
Absolutely.
Because since the podcast is not my primary, business, I've never really, other than I boosted a couple of posts here and there on Facebook, stuff like that, but I've let it grow organically. I've had on, to this date, the most downloaded, if you need goals, most downloaded episode and most watched YouTube video to date is a world-renowned neurosurgeon by the name of Dr. Jack Cruz.
Okay.
He literally is a specialist of the mitochondria within our cells, like
Wow.
how your mitochondria basically are your power plants and within your cells. Crazy stuff. But that guy had such a crazy following because he doesn't have a podcast. So people who follow him are obsessed with his content.
Okay.
So he shared the post, he shared it on Facebook, he shared it everywhere. He shared it on LinkedIn. I think he finally added the podcast to his list of podcasts that he's been on his website. He originally didn't. But I mean, that guy was the first ever, and that's back on episode 51, and I'm approaching 120.
Uh-huh.
But he was downloaded over 1,000 times. That was the first time I broke 1,000 downloads in the first 24 hours, his episode. So it's like, okay, it all comes down to, sometimes it's a great co-host, and sometimes it's good sharing, and sometimes it's just there's also a luck factor too. I've been studying this stuff for a while. It really cracks me up. But I will tell you, once I started, his was the first episode that I started doing this with, using Zoom, recording the video, and making sure I'm pushing stuff to YouTube. So now every week I get 3 to 5 new subscribers every week to YouTube.
Sweet.
And I've never asked for that. It's just now that I'm cycling new video content to YouTube at least twice a week, all of a sudden I'm just gaining new subscribers every single week. So
I'll also make sure to promote it on my Twitter and LinkedIn and Facebook.
I do the same. I tweet, retweet. I post you to Instagram.
Yeah.
I do everything. I do LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm the same way, man. I'm like, I want to make sure that I honor my co-hosts as much as possible, because the show is only going to keep growing.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
if I build that reputation, because as a marketer, if I'm not doing that, I've had a lot of co-hosts. My very first episode 001, very successful podcast from Michael O'Neill, Solopreneur Hour. The guy never shared the episode. I'm like, you were one of my coaches that helped me launch the show. I moved you into the #1 slot for name recognition, and then you never shared the episode. I was like, okay.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So
that's weird.
I thought so as well. I mean, you either have that much going on in your life, or you aren't really living what you're saying and teaching. So,
but dude, it takes like 10 minutes at the most to do it. I mean,
take like less than that, especially if I already post the content.
Yeah,
if I already posted it and I tag you in it,
yeah.
all you gotta do is click share.
Yeah.
Add a little tag on and you're done.
Yeah, exactly.
Trust me, man. Like, welcome to my world. So
okay. Hey, but dude, I would like to know more about what you do. I read on your website that you are big on marketing. So what kind of marketing are you?
Well, right now I'm heavy. It's interesting. So my one client, my biggest client, she's got her own sales and marketing representation firm.
Yeah.
So her big niche is the heating and air conditioning industry, which is massive, millions and billions of dollars, because everybody needs air conditioning and heat. So she represents 10 or 11 different manufacturing companies. So companies can say, great, I don't want to hire a sales guy or girl. I'm just going to outsource to a firm. So her firm covers from Delaware here in the US all the way up the East Coast to Maine. So when she signs contracts with those companies, they give her all that territory. And then she does all the business to business brand growth for all of those brands within that region. And then commissions, yada, yada, yada. So like, for example, for her as a client, I'm actually doing a lot of business development. I'm not even doing a ton of marketing per se. I will run actual marketing training events. I am looking to build out her YouTube channel because there's not a lot of content. I'm trying to make it so, because a lot of these manufacturers, you'll get a kick out of this, they don't have a YouTube channel. Like they have no content promoting their products because, well, we're the HVAC industry. I'm like, I don't give a crap what industry you are.
Yeah.
This is where everything is going. So if you don't exist, so literally I told her, like, listen, it is your responsibility as the firm to get them to exist. And then if we build the best content out there online, if people are ever searching for those companies, they're going to come to your YouTube channel and your content. And now, because here's the thing about her industry, they're on rolling 30-day contracts. So she as a firm can be dropped at any point in time. I mean,
Okay.
she's had clients for years, but it's just the way the industry is. No one's ever changed it. So I said,
Uh-huh.
fine. Besides all your sales development work and the B2B, I go out and I meet with buyers and for the companies, a lot of business to business relationships. I said, listen, why don't we build out so much great content and build that into your website and get everything linked? And then Google starts recognizing that. And then it gets to the point where you have outranked all of your clients
Mm-hmm.
and they can't afford to get rid of you as a firm
Yeah.
because you control their marketing now. And
Mm-hmm.
even though she's a sales and marketing firm, she's heavily sales, hasn't been doing a lot of the marketing.
Marketing.
So that's what I'm trying to plug in for her, is to help her start getting some of that out. And in the beginning, we're starting to do recording like in her little warehouse office. We will pull product out, do demonstration, explanation, training content that can be shared to, I don't know what they call them in Germany, but the contractors who do like the actual installations, they go shop at a wholesaler, which is only available to contractors. So they don't go to a grocery store or a regular store that you and I would go to. They
Mm-hmm.
go to a specific wholesaler that only professional people can shop at
Mm-hmm.
to get their parts and their equipment and everything else. So the point is, those companies have sales teams.
Okay.
So a lot of times I'm using webinars and I'm training those guys for her. So basically, her manufacturer hires her, and then she hires a sales team, or I've been coaching and developing her sales team that she's hired. And then I run webinars and training events for the wholesalers who are actually, their sales guys are selling the contractors. So there's a very interesting life cycle, if that opens your eyes to her world. And that's just that's my biggest client.
Okay.
I've been trying to, admittedly, I've been heavy on that for too long. I love her, and she's a good friend of mine, and I'm best friends with her husband. We go skiing and mountain bike together and everything else. So we're good. We're all the adrenaline junkies. But I want to really conquer more of the online space like you, and get the client, we'll just call that diversify my portfolio. So I'm not so heavy on her, because I'm all about location freedom, and I travel. Like she covers all my expenses. So she just pays for me to go travel and do buying meetings for them and everything. So it's great. But so I travel all over the Northeastern US and I don't pay a dime. But I'm moving more online. I want to have that, hey man, I can pick up my laptop, head out to Germany and still run my business.
Yeah.
And not where. So
that's where business is going, dude. I mean, really big time. And that was another reason why I started this business, because I wanted to be location independent. And like this year I haven't traveled much, but last year I was traveling 6 months more or less during winter here. And it was amazing. I was in Thailand, I was in Barcelona, I was in Croatia. Awesome times.
So the funny thing was, when I launched the podcast, I actually took, because I didn't have the time to take on new clients. So I took all of my, I guess, promotional content off the site, because you've been to the site, and just really made the podcast show. I wanted to blow, this whole past year was just podcast to help grow brand exposure and honor my co-hosts. And then I recently threw up that one little marketing type of page where, the problems I solve, and just to start cycling some new content back in, because I'm willing to take on a couple more clients. But again, the master plan is that I don't want to make videos for everybody. I love being the puppeteer. So, I like to pull the strings.
Yeah.
So I like being like the meeting I have this week with my buddy's IT company. He has a person in charge of client management, sales, and marketing, but she doesn't have time to grow the sales and marketing. So he's got plenty of business coming in because of the word of mouth that you hinted at, but their brand doesn't really exist online. So that's what I want to do for him, because he's a good friend of mine as well. Again, we mountain bike together. So he's like, dude, I was like, dude, he's like, you need to have me come in and you need to tell me what you guys want. And then I can sit there and help you guys figure out how to get you guys to exist. And that's my tagline. Like I help you guys control how you exist. Right now, you barely exist. I mean, unless people know the name and know the website, there's no video content. There's barely any social media. There's no posting on LinkedIn happening. I said, you guys need to start, like my vision of them, because they are very intelligent and they know what they're doing in the IT spaces. and they're trying to promote a white glove experience for their clients.
Mm.
I say, you got to start sharing knowledge, teaching.
Yeah.
I was like, little video clips every day from your top IT guy saying, hey man, you ever think about this? Build yourself as a resource and you'll become a respected component in the IT structure. Because I spent a couple of years working for an IT managed hosting company years ago. I did sales and marketing for them. And so I've been in the space and I get it. But I was like, you guys need to differentiate. I was like, I get it. You don't need new clients. You're doing fine.
Yeah.
But you need a brand.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I love. I love helping people figure out a brand, get the brand to exist, and then teach them how to start controlling how they exist. Because most people are just happy to exist. I'm like, okay, you could exist half-assed, but once you start realizing you need to control how you exist, now you're providing direction on where you want to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And most people don't understand that power of that word control.
Yeah. Especially, it's awesome that you mentioned this, especially with IT or software or I don't know, tech space. These guys have really intangible stuff, and a video series or animated video series is something that is, let's say, how to video series in a form of animations, which you can actually show intangible stuff with the help of animations.
Yeah, because I can't,
Something
because
awesome.
of their security protocols.
Mm.
And you understand hosting and everything, right?
Yeah.
Yes, co-located facilities, fully managed facilities, all that stuff. So he has his own infrastructures in co-located facilities. He manages and controls them. He's got all that. I can't go and video that. Right? Like that's all top secret. Like people can't know where the servers are. People can't know what clients are in those servers because like sometimes the servers are labeled, if they have dedicated servers for certain clients, you can't walk into the cage of server racks and be videoing that. Like,
no.
But to your point, it's like, they don't need to do that.
No.
I was like, we should be doing videos in your office with your personnel, showing that there's human beings controlling and creating this. And then just create an educational series.
Correct.
Right? Now you are showing the world that you're there to provide knowledge and there is knowledge to be had when working with your company.
Mm-hmm.
And then to your point, then the clients who are willing to share who they are and that they are working with you, maybe get some client testimonials and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I would love to work with you on some projects, dude. If there is a chance, I
would love to promote you, man. Because like I told you, I can't tell you how many times in the past 2 years I've had 3 or 4 different companies saying, "Hey, man, you should hire us to do some video work for you." And I'm like, okay, and then I never did anything. Like I get a kick out of those the dry erase videos. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't know. Dry erased videos.
Like this stuff. The whiteboard videos.
Those ones. Okay.
Like where there's a hand like drawing and you're explaining the person's company or business. You're telling a story, right? It's like it's an animated like storytelling line. I get a kick out of that. I don't know if you guys do those.
It's funny because what we have realized that those videos don't convert that well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
The normal motion graphics where you have, I mean, we don't emphasize on cartoons for tech industries, for example, but where we have a lot of iconographics or motion graphics going on with some different assets, these are the ones which are working really well in terms of convergence. Those are more free-flowing, if you will. And the whiteboard videos are okay, I would say.
I was wondering if they kind of dropped off the popularity because they started really growing like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I see them more now in the sales funnels. Like people are using them in their sales funnels. Right. I don't see them as prominent on the front end of a website as much.
Yeah, you nailed it because these videos are fine if you have to explain some concepts and details, like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 minute video, for example. Then these are fine. People, they are kind of slow, so they slow down the pace, and it's good for people who actually want to know more about the stuff.
Right.
But if someone is exposed to your brand initially, then these don't work that well from our experience.
Okay. Yeah. See, like I said, right now my position is I just want people to know that I love sitting down, geeking out on this stuff. And then out of that meeting, we start building strategies and processes and everything else. Like, I'm not the guy who's going to sit there and publish your Instagram stuff for
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah,
I could get a VA for that. I was
yeah,
like, you pay me enough per month or whatever it is, I'll get a VA for your Instagram and Twitter and all that. We just feed in the right content. I
yeah.
love being and I don't know if I
The
should be using the puppeteer, right?
the
But
strategist. Strategist is
exactly,
a good word. Yeah.
exactly. Like my
Yeah.
buddy who has the IT company, he's like, I kind of see you as the what do you call me? There's a term over here. They call it the jack of all trades. Like you could pretty much do anything.
Yeah.
So he joked around and started calling me the Scott of all trades because I've done so much stuff in my life. You know, like I don't know how much podcasting you listen to, but like I grew up on a farm, and then I was I told you, in the T-Mobile, the telecom space. Then I was in the IT space. Then I paid for myself as an adult to go back to school and do the marketing and the psychology at the university.
Wow.
Then left it all to go do the wildland firefighting. Did you know about that part?
I think I heard a part about this, but yeah,
It's on the
yeah,
website. If you
yeah,
look
yeah,
at the background image, you'll see like a bearded guy with fire behind him.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's me. So I literally spent 2 years fighting wildfires in the wilderness of Western U.S. for the federal government. So I I love to challenge myself. But the point is, like, I'm pretty diversified. Like
Yeah.
I love plugging myself into situations that are uncomfortable because I know that I'm going to grow from that. And that's
Absolutely.
something that I embody and I bring forth that a lot of people don't have.
Hmm.
So
It's the same with me. I mean, right now I have my video business going, but I don't know, 5, 6 years down the line, it might change. I might do completely something different. So
yeah,
it's the evolution, and then what interests you at that particular moment of your life, you have to go with it. So I respect that and I love it. It's pretty cool.
yeah, and that's the whole point. It's like you should never reach a point where you feel bottlenecked
Yeah.
and forced into an area. So,
Hmm.
like, and that's where, like, again, I love doing that work for my one client, but I'm not bottlenecked per se, but I was like, you know what? I want more than that. That's why
Mm.
I'm starting to do more public speaking. And I've been on the stage 3 times this year. Next year, I'm shooting for like at least 5 to 10 times. So I want to build that brand exposure and growth because I love teaching. And from a motivational, inspirational aspect, got that on lock. That's fine. But I'm not going to give up on the marketing piece because I love that. I've realized that I do love helping people figure out where to go with their brand and how they're going to maintain it. And then I love being that resource. So, but again, you're still technically exchanging time for money.
Hmm.
So I would eventually, with the whole video concept, is get to the point where you ever hear of a company called Thinkific?
Think Evic.
Thinkific. Think
Okay, we think
IFIC. I think they're from Canada, but they're one of those platforms that you can literally build your own virtual training program online. So if you have a sales funnel and then you're like, hey, you should like buy my sales training program.
Okay.
But it's all you've already recorded all the videos, all the chapters, everything,
Hmm.
and you're running it on their platform.
Okay,
So
cool.
it's great for somebody like you because if you have people that are trying to build online content and they want to sell, let's say, their online training program or educational program or their webinar series,
Mm.
you can build all that into the Thinkific platform.
Okay.
So it's
Sounds
interesting.
interesting.
They were at last year's conference and the conference I was in Vegas again last week as well. So they're pretty powerful. And actually, there's 2 big names. Oh God, what's his name online? He's going viral right now. You ever hear of Lewis Howes?
I think so, yeah.
Lewis Howes. You ever hear of Grant Cardone?
Yes, I
Yeah.
do.
All of their training programs are on Thinkific's platform.
Wow.
So
Okay.
it's interesting, right? So, but again, that's where a company like you could probably do a targeted campaign saying, hey guys, you use the Thinkific's program. We love building video content for that. I don't know, like just saying.
Yeah.
But to your point, yeah, I'm open to any guidance. I mean, hell, I'll promote the hell out of you. Like I don't know how to create a video to explain what it is I just got done vomiting all over you with about what I do. Like I've never really figured out how to create an updated video on that and say, great, this is what Scott does. This is why you want to work with him.
I think you should do it on your website, especially.
Yeah.
Just have a minute or 2-minute video, just talk to people.
Yeah.
It will definitely help you.
Well, that I know I can do.
Yeah.
I guess it's connecting it back to what you would do and how could I I mean, I don't know. Is there an opportunity where we have you guys do some kind of video, then I put it on my site and I tag it and promote the hell out of you guys that way? Because as I keep growing the show, I'm always connecting new co-hosts with people. It's hilarious. Like every time I bring like you, as soon as I'm done today, I will think of at least 1 to 2 people to get you connected with, because I'm a networker. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Like I love connecting people. So every co-host I bring on, I either try and get them on somebody else's podcast that I'm connected with, or I'm like, hey man, somebody can go on your podcast. I love connecting people. So
Sure.
it's just that's why I joke around, because I already have a huge LinkedIn network. I have the Facebook network, and then I'm literally building a whole podcasting network every time I bring a new co-host on. I have over 100 co-hosts that I could tap into and say, who could I connect? It's fun. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I'll have to think about this, but I'm pretty sure we can do something together.
Yeah. I'm open.
Yeah. I mean,
we can chat.
Yeah. I mean, if you, most of the clients that you have are with this IT company, which you mentioned, that is definitely something that I can see working together. Yeah,
I'd like to see you guys get connected up, because, like I said, when I have my first strategy call with them this week, I want to bring up the power of video and say, listen, I got a guy. So once we get the creativity to that point and we want to start building a video series or video content, that's where we could plug you guys into that equation.
Yeah, definitely. And then let me know how I can help you as well. I mean, what is your ideal client, for example? For me, it's mainly someone who is in the technology space, or technology space, software space, financial services space, something where we can easily explain their intangible services or products pretty easily in a short video, I would say.
Well, my one client's client is definitely in the techie space, even though it's in the HVAC industry. They're up in Vermont, the state of Vermont in the U.S., and they specialize in indoor air quality. So they build all this tech around UV lights. So UV light is used to sterilize things. So they have all these UV lamp technology that's put into the air systems, put into the ductworks. It's used in medical practices, and there's like picture a massive air conditioning, looks like the size of a truck on the roof of a hospital, right? But inside of that are cooling coils and everything to help create the cold air. Well, they literally build bulb light UV systems to go inside of that to make sure nothing could ever grow on the surfaces, because you don't want mold or spores or growth, and then all that stuff gets sucked into the air system. Right. It's all this it's crazy cool stuff. They already have a good sized YouTube channel, but I always feel that everybody can level up a little bit. I don't know who's doing their video now, but they do. They're called Ultravation. So like Ultra, ULTRA, Vation, Ultravation. But you could check those guys out. I mean, I know the owner of the company, so. But yeah, they're not in the IT or the software space, but they're playing around with like a lot of cool light bulb UV lamp technology used to literally break down DNA and like kill stuff, so that way you're not spreading bad stuff in your air. I mean, so you're basically you're almost really kind of merging the technology space with the health sector, right? Which are two very big domains. So
I'm on their website. It's just pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, my first thought is they should have a new website.
Thank you very much. Yeah, they're at least one of the companies that at least has a YouTube channel and actually has video content. But yeah, their website is a little rough. Navigation's terrible. There's just, it's very noisy. Yeah.
Yeah, they have a YouTube channel. I see that. Yeah, they have a bunch of videos, which is pretty cool as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
But I think they need a storytelling video about why. Because here's the thing, they're not the only company doing that. So when I go and meet with companies that are considering buying their products, I would love to be able to sit there and play like, hey, this is why you want to work with Ultravation.
Yeah.
Instead, I'm there verbally doing it and visually showing them why. Like I tell them that they're a family-owned company in Vermont, USA. Everything is made in the USA out of Vermont, so I have to explain all that. I think it'd be more powerful if they had more of a little storytelling video. Like, hey,
Yeah.
why do you want to work and trust a made in the USA company like Ultravation? That'd be a great video.
I mean, no video content is enough. I mean, senseful, like video which has sense is always perceived as a value addition to whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
It just takes 60 seconds to explain it, and it's easily consumable. I mean, people are bored, people are lazy to read stuff. So if you can make it easy for them, if they can just sit back, relax, and see a video and understand what you're doing, nothing like it.
Yeah. Although now you're telling me, so now I have to. I'm on my website right now, so I guess I'm going to have to get a. I work with Scott and Live the Fuel maybe or something. A video done up, so because I don't have any video content on my homepage right now.
Yes, sir.
See that? There we go. Masterminding right now. Cool. All right. Well, besides that, I will definitely keep my mind wrapped around the tech space stuff, and definitely send me those examples that you want me to pick from for the blog content. I want to make sure I show you properly. And then if anything else pops in your head, man, keep me in the loop. I'm always geeking out and studying new stuff and trying to figure out what to do next. So
sure thing. I mean, we should anyways be in contact. I think it would be pretty cool. We can do good stuff together. I believe that definitely.
It would be awesome, man. I love that's why I'm always telling people this. Like, guys, like connect, reach out to people. Like you never know where those connections could take you next. I mean,
Absolutely.
I've worked on Kickstarter campaigns already. I'm like, okay, well, I could come across a Kickstarter now in the next 6 months that a friend of mine might be doing. I'm like, hey, man, you got to have the storytelling video to put on the Kickstarter campaign. I know a guy.
I mean, absolutely. I just say the same to everyone, because you think about it. If you have a yearly goal, for example, you just need sometimes just a couple of clients to fulfill your goal,
Yeah.
So that's what
my question though is this. Is all your video client you guys don't actually have to, is it all remote stuff, or do you travel out to go visit the client to get the live video stuff? Like, how is your design?
It's absolutely remote. So, for example, if someone is in US, live videos is something that we are not kind of capable, but we do have some partners who we recommend them in this case.
Oh, okay. Like a referral network.
Yeah. But in terms of animations, it's all remote. All we need is emails and Skype, for example, or Zoom sometimes. And then that's pretty much it.
I would love to figure out if we can get some type of weird, like cool, fun, I don't know, like an animated video to put on the website and like have you guys tagged in and be like, hey man, FYI, he was episode blah, 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 but check it out. This is what they do. And it's something like kind of showing off Live the Fuel or something, because that'd be kind of fun. I don't know. I've never done animated video. I have no clue. So
I mean, if you come up with an idea, then we could definitely think about it. Sure, why not?
Yeah, I think we both are leaving with some brainstorming today.
Yeah, so, definitely.
I enjoy that. That's how I enjoy my meetings. I like people leaving motivated and inspired to figure out what they're going to do next.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
So I'm going to send you the different examples, like 3 to 5 more or less.
Yep.
And let's be in touch, definitely. And I'm pretty sure we have some good business to do. I'm pretty sure about it.
And thank you again for being so honest and transparent today. And it sounds like we actually got you to reflect on things you've not been able to before. And again, the power of podcasting, man, you never know what's going to come out of it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It was pretty cool. It was like a genuine chat with a good friend. I like that. It's a very warm feeling. It's pretty cool.
I tell my fiance all the time, she's just like, who are you making friends with now? And I'm like, at least you now understand why I do this. I love building new connections and new friends because this is what mankind is supposed to do. So
definitely. Hey, one question before I let you go. And you said you are trying to get a lot of public speaking going on.
Yeah.
How do you get those gigs? Like, do you so through contacts, or how does that work? Because
admittedly, the networking is part of it, right?
Yeah.
So last year's event, I went to that Mid-Atlantic podcast conference down outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and that's where that gentleman had told me, like, "Wow, dude, like you literally got me to talk about stuff I never talked about. So when I was there, I just befriended the guy who founded the event, who was also a podcaster. And I'd already, at the end of the event, I've already bought the ticket for the next year's event, this year's event, showing him my commitment. And I told him, like, listen, if there's anything you ever need, man, like you just let me know. I said, this podcast just started, but if I could ever help you just running the event, organizing it, whatever. I was like, and then casually I threw out there, I'm like, and, gift of gab, etc. Talking. Then since then, he ended up launching a second event earlier this year called DreamCon, because his podcast is called The Dreamers Podcast, and it's about entrepreneurs and dreams, right? Like getting people to embrace their dreams and own their dreams. So he created a DreamCon event, which will become an annual event, and that was always his kind of like annual party to celebrate him launching his podcast like 4 or 5 years ago. But now it's grown to the point where now we're going to do fundraising at this event. And he actually brought speakers this year. And we actually had, so he invited me to be a speaker at his charity event, the DreamerCon. And then I spoke so well at that event. He's like, he's like, you're coming back to the Mid-Atlantic podcast this year, MapCon, right? And I said, yes. He's like, do you want to speak there too? I said, sure. So like you said, with your business, I didn't get paid for these. I just want video and photographs of me on stage, dude. I have no problem saying this. I'm a 6'4", not a bad looking guy. I'm fit. I take care of myself. You put me in a suit and get me on stage, I'll rock the mic. Yeah. So, those were it.
You can put those videos on your website as well. Do you have them? I don't think so.
I don't have them uploaded anywhere yet. But he did give us access to the video content because he released he actually had a camera mounted in the side of the conference room or the conference area. And he did like a live video feed the entire time and then recorded it. And then that stuff that we have access through links, he sent me links. So I got to go in and I've been so busy. I just haven't gone back and grabbed those videos. I think I do, because I did launch I might have actually posted one. I launched a separate Facebook page besides Live the Fuel because I'm running out of friends on Facebook because eventually I'll hit that 5,000 cap probably by the end of the year. And so I launched a Scott Mulvaney speaker page just to grow that brand separately from Live the Fuel.
Sure.
And to experiment. And I might have actually posted one of those videos on there actually.
And I mean, these videos, you can also use them in the main video, which we talked about for you.
Oh yeah.
So as like a small clipping. So that gives you the, let's say, unsaid credibility as well.
That's a good point. You can cycle in stuff because I'm not making it up. It's real content that I've had.
Yeah, exactly.
Looks like I didn't post it yet. No, at least not on that page. I thought I did, but maybe all I did was download the videos. I haven't actually done anything with them yet. But yes, I do. He did give us access to the video content, or at least where it's posted, and I just need to go back and download them and get access to it because we do Facebook Lives at those events, everything, and I know you can extract that content.
Well, send it over when you have them. I would love to see what you do as well.
Yeah. Oh, I'll just double check one more thing. I just want to make sure if that actually. Yeah, nope, it's not up on Live the Fuel either. Okay, so you just gave me new homework. I got to go track those videos down now and get them up. But yeah,
right.
yeah. One of my speaking events was titled "Embracing Change for Lifestyle Success," and it was a short speaking segment. He created something new this year we call Power Speaking. So Friday night, everybody had an 8-minute time slot. So you only spoke for 8 minutes. I've never spoken that short of amount of time. So that was a whole new challenge for me. I was usually you're speaking from 20 to 40 minutes. So I only had to speak for 8, which makes it also better for YouTube because it's shorter content.
Yeah.
So. But then again, I was just at that Thrive, Make Money, Matter conference, and there was a powerful video guy from Connect Funnels. And he says, listen, man, the longer the videos, the better. He said, don't worry about this whole short 1-2 minute thing. He's like, there's people who, if they're drawn to your brand, they will watch the whole darn video.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you let's say have a loyal following, you can have a 4-hour video. People will watch it, man. For sure.
See,
you just have to be very systematically guide them and make them your fans first, so to say, and then yeah, they are for yours to control if you yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get this content up because I've got in between the podcast videos on my YouTube channel. I've cycled in like I'll just do when I'm driving and traveling. I'll put I've got a magnetic mount for this. I put it up and I do live recordings, and then I'll post that to YouTube as well. So I have random thoughts like that, business, sales, marketing stuff that all gets thrown up there as well. Other times I'll just post stuff about, like one of the videos was called Road Warrior Sales and Marketing because I'm a road warrior. I travel so much. Another one I titled was Creating World-Class Customer Service, stuff like that. So I don't care. I'll get on video.
Do it.
Yeah. So are you looking to get into speaking too then?
I have a speaking gig coming day after tomorrow.
Nice.
And I mean, I have one that one and then one in November. So I'm trying to get quite a bunch of speaking gigs going on. And
well, the beauty is this.
Yeah.
This is how I think about it. I did not get these speaking events because I wanted to promote my company. I did it to go big picture, and then I let my company fall in behind it.
Okay.
So now, unless somebody approaches you saying, listen, I love what your company does, I want you to talk about this, that's fine. But you notice the one speech was on embracing change for lifestyle success. That was more of a coaching type of speaking event. Oh, and yeah, Scott's brand is Live the Fuel, living the fired up epic life. That's what Live the Fuel stands for. So most of my speaking events have not actually been about Live the Fuel. I think the DreamCon event, I spoke about how kind of Live the Fuel came about in the speech, about the lifestyle change of going from corporate to firefighting and back again. So, and literally I'm meeting with somebody this week who's a ghostwriter to consider finally getting a book started as well. So
that's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, nothing gives you an authority like a book for sure. Yeah. I mean,
and I've been putting it off, and so many people since I launched this show are like, man, I've never heard of wild and firefighting, and I can't believe that you went from like a farm kid to a corporate guy to firefighter to now entrepreneur. Like, you gotta write a book about all that. And I was like, when am I going to find time for that?
No, that would be actually a very catchy book. By the way, I don't know if you have heard this company called Book in a Box from Tucker Max.
You mean that book right there?
Is it that one? Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It just arrived yesterday.
Okay. So these guys do the same.
We're vibing, man. We're vibing.
Yeah. So these guys do the same thing. I mean, they just have everything taken care of, and they just write your book. So.
Well, a recent co-host I had on that I met at that MapCon event, her name is Patricia Ivy. She started her own basically service like that to help you get published. And she actually has a ghostwriting service. So she'll even ghostwrite a book for you. But then she hinted, she's like, Scott, you have over 100 podcasts up. She said, we literally could go back and listen to all your shows and then just pull out the content that makes sense. And you probably have a book already, mostly done from your podcast.
Yeah.
Never thought about it. I was like, interesting.
Definitely.
Never thought about it.
No, absolutely. I mean, that's a brilliant idea. The only, I don't know. I mean, she has to be really good to extract it and put it in a very systematic way, and like in a
oh, and I would have to
manner. Yeah.
I would have to fill in the gaps, because if I do finally launch a book, I have to do it on audio too, because I use the Audible app from Amazon, and I will read the book myself. I do a podcast. I can't stand it when I download audiobooks and it's some random person reading the book. I said, no. I want to hear it from the person living it, because then they usually start throwing in like extra content that wasn't actually written in the book. And that's why I love audiobooks so much. So it's got to be a book that I want to read. Yeah. And that's part of it. So that's why we're having our first ever meeting this week just to talk about it. I want to see what she thinks she can do. And I mean, again, I have I think over 200 videos on YouTube, but I mean, there might be content snuck in there too. I have no idea. So
I mean, I think, Patricia, what she mentioned is absolutely right. I mean, if you have 110 episodes, 120 episodes, plus so many YouTube videos. I think you have basically a book ready.
It's just a matter of, she was episode 115. Patricia Iyer, sorry, Ayer.
Here.
She went from like double bankruptcy to being a millionaire. So, and she's an older woman, but I mean, her and her husband started a company on welding. It's like building a business around welding, and then lost it all, and then rebuilt themselves again. She created a business from legal nurse consulting for nurses in the medical
Wow.
world, like
Okay.
helping them make money by doing consulting for legal law cases. Like if there's a malpractice, they need a reputable nurse to come in and speak on behalf of that case. Like they can make money doing that.
Wow. Okay.
So like she created a whole company out of that and sold it. And now she does, I mean, it's crazy. That's why I love podcasting, man. I never know who I'm going to talk to next. So
that's super interesting, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I was very impressed. So I'm looking forward to having a consultation with her and this week and seeing what she's got up her sleeve. Because hey, if we can get a book out, it'll be perfect timing because there's a new movie coming out in 2 weeks, telling the story about 19 hotshot wildland firefighters like I was, who died a couple years ago. The entire crew was burned over on a wildfire in the state of Arizona. Okay. And I knew 17 of them because I served in 2010 and 2011. They died in 2013. So I knew most of their faces because it was only a couple of years since I had left. And we used to serve on a lot of fires together because we were both based out of Arizona where my base was. So I knew a lot of those guys. So it was crazy. But now they're making a movie about their tragic loss because next to that, the second worst firefighting tragedy was 9/11 in New York City when all those firefighters were killed when the towers came down. Okay. So I have mixed feelings about this movie. I'm not sure if I'm going to like it or not since I'm so heavily connected. But Patricia made a good point. She's like, Scott, she's like, if nothing else, you better do a video on YouTube discussing your review of it. She's like, because you're a former hotshot. She's like, you're one of those elite firefighters who literally served alongside of those guys. She's like, who better to give a perspective? She's like, that'd be a great video. And she's like, if we can eventually get a book out following the movie, she's like, that would help. And if I did this though, I don't want to make a lot of money off of it. I decided that for this first book, if it's hotshot related, firefighting related, I want to give a large portion back. I want to support, because like here we have a lot of volunteer firefighters. So I was like, great, I want to be able to give back. I want to be able to build income, but also give back off of that because it's not my core business. If I can make a lot of money authoring a book, great, but let's go big picture, right? Let's build authority first. Let's build the reputation first.
Yeah, I mean, dude, you just nailed it right because, so for example, Gary Vee, right?
Oh yeah.
So what he does is just gives off so much stuff for free, and
people are loyal to him.
Yeah, people are loyal to him, and I mean, people don't have to afford him, but if you manage to get that kind of following, business will come. You don't even have to think about it at all. For
Good
real.
point.
Like, yeah, just put out a video. I would say do that. I would definitely say do that for sure.
I definitely will. I will. I have to because my fiance already knows that I'm not looking forward to seeing the movie because that could have happened to me. And I'm hoping that they do honor their memory. So I will probably put out a video of my thoughts before, and then I'll put out a video after, and we'll see what comes out of that.
Sure. I mean, it just needs one video to go viral, and that's that, man.
Yeah. So, and they got some major actors coming out in this movie, so it should get some good recognition. So,
sure.
But I'll be checking out this book anyway. So I think it's funny you brought that up. It literally arrived yesterday. This arrived yesterday with my my new blue blocker sunglasses. So when I'm doing podcasting at night, I'm actually protecting my mitochondrial health and my eyes for my melatonin production to ensure better sleep. So again, that famous Dr. Jack Cruz, he wears these all the time. I don't know if you ever heard of that.
I haven't.
Okay. Well, if you ever have sleeping problems or not just sleep problems, it's just health related. They basically say all the blue light that's coming off of this, coming off of my monitors is not good for this, not good for your eyes.
Uh-huh.
So the more you can filter it with blue block type sunglasses, there's like an orangey reddish
I,
lens.
dude, I think I know these sunglasses. What do you know the owner of this guy?
Well,
Of
this is
this
a
brand?
newer family-owned company I found on Amazon. This company's called Spectra 479. They call them biorhythm safe lighting. And what they're hinting at is your biological rhythm of your body, right? The frequencies being released, the blue light frequencies of coming off of our technology
Hmm.
is not healthy for us at all.
Hmm.
And everybody thinks I'm crazy. But I was like, well, if I'm crazy, then why did Apple, one of the most successful companies out there, give you the ability to warm up your display now in
Yeah.
the software?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So if you ever tried warming your display, it goes from that bright blue white color to a warm yellowish orange glow.
Hmm.
It's not as perfect as this, but okay. Well, if they didn't believe in it, why would they put it on there?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Uh, I think Ty Lopez, he was promoting the hell out of these classes, I think.
yeah, like I said, that Dr. Jack Cruz, he's obsessed with it, and he's always teaching people. Please, he's like, you got to get outside and get more natural light. Number one.
Hmm.
And number two, if you are stuck inside more under false, man-made light, you got to, especially the fluorescent stuff. Fluorescent's terrible. Like it looks like you're using an incandescent lighting, so that's
I
better.
have, yeah,
Yeah, you don't want to be using fluorescent
I
lighting.
have this kind of lightings.
Yeah, I don't know if are those halogens.
That's kind of a halogen. I think
Yeah.
I should get on the classes as well.
Anyway, either way, they said the best way to do it is just get outside more. But anyway, there's some health tips for you today.
No, that is, dude. I cannot tell you. Last 3 4 months, I have been home, like literally home. That's it. Working my ass off like crazy. So I definitely get that. And
So
I
take your laptop and go outside and work.
no, I felt the difference when I was in summer. So my girlfriend is from Croatia,
Mm-hmm.
and we were 2 weeks in summer, and I felt so happy within just being outside and enjoying the sun. I could totally feel the difference.
Yes.
So I can completely attest to what you're saying.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah, there's a lot more to life than just, sleep, nutrition, hydration, and fitness.
Yeah.
There's a lot more going on at the cellular level when it comes to what's going into our eyes. And actually, last tip is he said melatonin is essential for sleep, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people here in the US are now taking melatonin supplements, right? But the only reason why you have to supplement is because your body isn't making enough of its own melatonin. And Dr. Jack
Mm-hmm.
Cruz has educated us that the strongest production of melatonin comes from behind the eye.
Okay.
So if you're not getting enough natural sunlight and
Mm-hmm.
mostly fake man-made light,
Mm-hmm.
and the fake man-made light, you're not blocking all the blue light frequencies from the technology, especially being a video guy,
Mm-hmm.
you are literally, his exact words, killing yourself.
Wow.
He said over time, you will literally break down your biological rhythm, your cellular strength at the connective level.
Wow.
It's crazy. Like there was a story of a CrossFitter breaking his back lifting weights.
Mm-hmm.
So Jack Cruz said he went back over that guy's entire YouTube channel. Every single video of that guy working out was always inside of a closed off gymnasium with fluorescent lights. You've never seen that guy work out outside ever. He's like, so that guy lived in the gym, was always lifting weights, always working out. He was a professional athlete. And he's like, doesn't surprise me that he broke his back. He's like, because his body over that period of time was being broken down at the cellular level.
Wow.
Mind blowing. And again, this guy's a world famous neurosurgeon, might know a few things.
No, definitely. So yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. If you want to geek out on health, go back and listen to episode 51 with that guy.
I will.
It'll blow your mind. So
I definitely will. I mean, these are excellent tips. I need to definitely put them into implementation starting like tomorrow, because now it's dark
man,
outside.
you blow my mind on marketing. I'll blow your mind on health and fitness. This is what I do. This is why I talk health, business, and lifestyle. I'm the health and lifestyle nutball, and the business is just along for the ride, because any business that I work with will peak because I never run out of energy. I'm the health nut. So I'm trying to set a good example for everybody else.
Absolutely. How many times do you work out? Every day or?
No.
No?
I know. I used to, but I mean, I've been so busy this week. I think I had the skydive yesterday. That wasn't really working out. More like a heart workout. That's all over Facebook. Once you accept a friendship, you can go watch the video on that too. That's up on YouTube. It's on LinkedIn. I cycle things in. Like I'm usually in the CrossFit gym at least twice a week. I built a gym in my garage out back, so I have my own weight training area too. But I do everything. So I mountain bike. I'm a road cyclist. In the winter times, I ski. So I do a little bit of everything. Every once in a while, I get some yoga. And then if I'm feeling really beat up and worn down, then I'll just take a day or two off and I'll go get a massage. So like after the skydive yesterday morning, we went to go support friends of ours at Oktoberfest. They were competing in some kind of beer competition. And then I had other friends of mine coming into the area, but we had a couple hours to kill. So my fiance and I went and got a pedicure.
Okay, cool.
Went from skydiving to pedicures, but hey, my legs were pretty beat up. I've been working out a lot. So getting a full, nice lower leg massage and I don't know, whatever they do to your feet and your legs, I felt like $1 million. So there's more things involved with health and wellness than just, how much weights do you throw around?
Yeah, absolutely. I cannot agree more.
Yeah, but next Saturday I'm running a marketing event for my friend's gym. I'm bringing in a kettlebell world champion. She's a gold medalist, Team USA pro athlete. She's competed she's actually won in Germany. She's a veteran athlete, so she's in her 50s. And you know what kettlebells are?
No.
A kettlebell is like a big round weight with a big handle on it. So it's like a picture of a handle.
I know.
Weight. It was founded by the Russians. So basically you could do so much with a kettlebell. So I'm bringing in, cause she and I are connected through my nutrition business. So I'm bringing her into a local CrossFit gym here. And it's like a VIP private training, like only 8 to 10 people are allowed to pay to come in. And it's not expensive, it's like $75 US, but you get 2 hours with her and she'll teach you ways to master moving that kettlebell, because everybody swings the kettlebells, and I have kettlebells in my garage. I love kettlebells. You get like one kettlebell, you can do so much stuff with that once you start studying it. A jump rope and a kettlebell, that's all you need.
That's really cool, man. Do you have like a personal trainer, or you have done enough and you don't need anything now?
I've professionally done that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I taught spinning, which is indoor cycling. I taught spinning for 5 years.
Wow.
I was a USSA ski race coach for 11 years. I've been coaching CrossFit for 2 years.
Wow.
I've been around the fitness thing for a while. But one thing I teach everybody is every good coach should also have a coach. So when you hire a business coach, for example, I tell them, do they have a coach? Because everybody should always be growing and improving. And like, for example, like this winter, I'm going to be taking some advanced ski lessons because I've been skiing for a while. I've been coaching ski racing, but I can still learn something new. So I just want to see where I'm at, and I'm going to go find somebody who's better than me and go learn from them.
Right.
I go to CrossFit training events or certification events to go learn something new to see what I don't know. So I'm not, I actually stepped down from coaching in my CrossFit gym to focus on my companies and grow these right now. So I'm not actively coaching CrossFit, but I was up until a month ago.
Wow.
So yeah,
cool.
I know technically I could probably, with my gym in my garage, I could probably go, I actually have a tripod set up out there. So I'll put my phone on like time lapse, and you just see me going really, 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 really fast and just doing crazy workouts. So I just do that for fun to add transparency to what I do. And I put that up on Instagram and stuff. So
why not? I'm going to follow you on Instagram. Like, what's your handle?
Everything is Live the Fuel.
Oh, okay.
It's very easy to find me, man.
Easy peasy.
Come on, man. We're marketing guys, huh?
Yeah.
It's Live the Fuel everywhere.
Okay. Makes sense. I'll add you. Cool.
Well, speaking of that, I'm actually going to go out into my garage because it's raining, and I'm going to go work out after this. So I got to go finish brewing some coffee, and then I'm going to go out there and go throw some weights around.
Good. I'll also just go for a walk. My girlfriend is probably waiting for
That's
me.
good. You get outside, enjoy the air, get the sunlight.
There's no sun, but I will enjoy the air there.
Well, a little tip.
Yeah.
There still is a natural frequency of UV still passing through the clouds. So even though you're not getting the actual sunlight, you are actually still getting dosed with that. Obviously, I don't know where you're at in the hemisphere, but the closer to the equator, the stronger and more healthy it is because it's so much more concentrated. Like that Dr. Jack Cruz actually moved to Louisiana, which is all the way on the southern edge of the U.S. So he can get that amount of healthy UV that he gets in that area of the country is equal to high altitude training. If you're very high in the mountains, because you're closer to get more dosage coming down. So
it's insane. I mean, these small things we could never ever imagine. It's crazy what you're saying. It's amazing.
Right, but see, I'm always trying to find ways to hack my performance, and I also pride myself of, thanks to the podcast, of becoming a health educator. I'm not a doctor. I'm bringing on biologists and PhDs because if we're expected to build peak performing influential companies, as professionals, like we got to also get ourselves to a peak level of performance.
Absolutely.
I feel it's our responsibility. If you and I are going to get on stage and empower an audience with whatever we're teaching, that takes energy, that takes passion. So if you're out of shape, lethargic, 300 pounds, I'm not going to be moved very quickly by you.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. I mean, it is right. I cannot agree more. Definitely. I mean, it's like the feel good factor that you have as well, which reflects on the outer self as well, and people are magnetically attracted towards you that way as well. So I get it. I definitely get it.
As you've now experienced, I am not a low energy guy. So that is my brand. That's part of who I am. That's part of what Live the Fuel is like, I'm the crazy, high energy, adrenaline junkie, health nut, fitness nut, obsessed with business and marketing, healthy lifestyle guy. So I am my brand. So
love it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, cool, sir. Well, you go enjoy a great walk with your lady.
I will.
And I'll be seeing my girl probably about 3 hours. She's out running somewhere too. She's a triathlete, so she's
okay.
Yeah,
cool.
Actually, I think she has to go ride her horse today too. She's a horse doctor. She's a veterinary medicine horse doctor. So yeah.
Okay.
We're very, very eclectic relationship.
Love it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. See, that's the power of podcasting and Skyping and Zooming, is we get to learn all about each other. So
absolutely.
But yeah, so there you go, man. Like, dude, if you have ideas for me, I'm willing to listen. If you ever have any ideas for health, fitness, dude, reach out. I'm happy to share what I've learned over the years. So
I will. I definitely will.
I teach people all this. We are just, and this is a good way to close out.
Yeah.
You and I, we are just at a different place on life's timeline as far as experience. I feel that you probably clearly have ascended past me when it comes to video experience. I know a lot to hold my own, but I know you've niched in that area. Whereas me, I'm definitely probably further along the line when it comes to adrenaline junkie stuff and health and fitness stuff, because I've been doing it a while. So It doesn't mean that we're not capable of achieving all the different things we each have.
Yeah.
It's just we're at a different place in the timeline. That's all it is.
It's always a learning process. I
exactly.
love it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, all right, sir. This has been great. Thank you again. And all this stuff will be going up online and we'll have a blast.
A pleasure is all mine, Scott. Really. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, buddy.
All right, man. Well, you enjoy the day.
You too. Take care. Have a good one.
Take care.
Ciao, ciao. Bye.
Bye.